Court calls the case of Bishop Pickering versus Glenda Hubbard.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
She's okay, there she is. All right. Ma'am, can you get yourself unmuted? Okay, we'll send somebody in to help you. All right. But if you can hear me, wave your hand if you can hear me, ma'am. All right. We can go ahead and then I'll hear from you. Mr. Pantera, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
The amount of rent and court costs at this time is $2,012.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, if you hold down the space bar on that computer, that should do it. You take a minute. Yeah, you have to keep holding it while you're talking. Oh, okay. There you go.
Hi.
Hello. All right. Ma'am, how are you intending on getting this paid?
Sir, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I am on Mishta Housing. I got me a ledger right here from my housing stating that Tuesday they had paid everything.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to be able to see that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. But that you got something from them saying they paid everything?
Yes, they Mishta deposited $2,308 for 3 months of payment on 12/16.
Hang on, 2,000, how much?
308.
Okay. Mr. Fanter, do you see that on your?
Well, you know, as I was sitting here reading my ledgers, I noticed that she just moved in October, and her rent's $1,100 and she's been paying $171. So when I saw that, I thought, this is a new move-in. Maybe we haven't received the Section 8 money yet. There's no indication on the file that it's Section 8, but you know, when you see that, it kind of jarred maybe that's the case.
That's what's happening. Okay. So here's what I'll do. Ma'am, I'm going to adjourn this out for 1 week. That payment should get to them so that it all looks okay, okay?
Yes.
So I'll adjourn it to the Yes, Mr. Fantera.
I was just going to ask her, ma'am, does it show when they paid it so that I can go search for it?
Yes. Says 12/17.
12/17?
Yes.
Okay. So we probably just got it, Your Honor. So hopefully I'll be able to verify that after we finish today, and I'll hopefully dismiss the case before next week.
That's right. So I'm going to set it for the 26th at 1. That's an in-person hearing. But if everything's all set, like it sounds like it is, you don't need to come down. All right?
Okay.
And they'll dismiss the case.
Okay. I'm sorry.
All right?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Now I got a paper here the other day stating that for October, when I moved in the middle of the month, my prorated amount of rent was $83. Mishta's prorated amount was $450, but I paid the $450 because when I first moved in, I did not have the $1,650 like the lady wanted at MTH, and they locked me out the next day. So I didn't get my apartment back until the following Monday, and I had to pay all of that rent. I had to pay the whole $1,650, which
all right. That sounds like ma'am, that sounds like something you might have to deal with Mischief about because they should have paid it.
Okay. And another thing, MTH got double rent from me this month. They got a money order and they also took it off my card.
I do see 2 payments for $171. And Your Honor, if this is all a Section 8 issue, then we will be waiving the court costs of $175. And if my math is correct, she said 2308 was the number. So
yes.
That would leave her with a $300 credit. And then if I take the 175 off, the credit would be like $500. So if that all works out, she wouldn't have to pay any rent for several months because we would be getting money going forward from Section 8. But Ms. Hubbard, I've got your phone number. As soon as I verify that we've received the money from Mishta, I'll call you and we'll figure out exactly what the credit is going forward.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
You too, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yes, ma'am. All right, what is, this is a non-payment of rent case. What is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, at this time, plaintiff is owed $2,560 in rent and $198 in costs,
For a total of,
for a total of $2,758.
all right. And Ms. Sales, how are
Yes,
you
sir.
intending on getting, that paid?
Well, I'm trying to talk to family members right now. I've been in talks with my landlord, Jason, and we have been working out agreements. So far, he's been satisfied with everything. I have come up with $2,400 within the last month and a half to pay him.
The 2,400, is that been taken into account in the number you've given me, counsel?
Yes, it has.
Okay. So you're working on trying to get this, come
Yes,
up with
sir.
the
I've
funds
lived
and
it.
trying to get it paid.
Yes, sir. I've lived in this apartment for almost 7 years now. I've fallen on hard times this past year, and my landlord does know this, and we have been working on payment arrangements.
Have you reached out to Housing Access for Washington County?
I did. The first time I did that, they denied me, but it was before I even had a court, before any of this even happened, the court or anything.
So you might want to reach out to them again. I'm going to suggest that you do that today.
Yes, sir. I do have to go to
All
work today, but I will try my hardest to do that today.
All right. And what I will do is you're entitled to an adjournment in this matter. So I will adjourn this matter to December 26th,
Okay.
2025 at 2 p.m. Ma'am, that is an in-person proceeding.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So am I done then?
Yep, you are.
Okay. Have a good day. Thank you.
You do the same. Zhenfeng Zhang versus Kelly Reddick. This is non-payment of rent case. What is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, we're seeking 7 months of rent. The rental rate is $3,300 plus $1,750 in water bills. It's all been unpaid.
So I don't know what that means. Is the
Your Honor,
rent each month $3,300? How much total?
$3,300 per month.
So what?
7 plus 7. 24,850.
And that includes their cost, the costs you're claiming?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Reddick, what do you have to say about that?
Your Honor, I just wanted to let you know that I didn't, I got the, what is that, the summons, delivered to me at last Friday, but I didn't get, like, the demand was in there with it, and it said, that the amount I owe is $19,800, but I like never received that demand letter previously. It says it was mailed on November 13th, but there's no signature on the demand, but that demand letter says I owe $19,800, which I do owe past rent.
Correct. And that was done in November.
November 13th, it says it is the date that it says it was mailed, although there's no signature and I didn't receive it. But that was from November, that's the date it has on it.
That's correct. I don't have a signature on this either. Counsel.
On the demand, Your Honor?
On the demand, I don't have a signature on the copy provided to the court. She doesn't have a signature. She doesn't see it. She is really indicating she never received it. When I'm looking at this, it almost appears like that was never mailed.
Your Honor, I can certainly send the signed signature version to you. I don't know why you have a version that's not signed.
I don't either. But she's also claiming she didn't get it, and I don't know if she wants to run with that defense. Ma'am, are you gonna seek legal counsel on this?
I had talked to a lawyer previously from Michigan, Southeast Michigan, but I
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
have I don't have, I can't hire one, but they did give me some, like, talk to me.
Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a week to try to figure out what you may want to do on this case.
Okay,
And then the court will have to figure out what it does with, I mean, because you've indicated didn't receive the notice. And mine is not signed as to its proof of service, so I think at some point the court might have to make a finding on that. But
Your Honor,
during this
I can certainly send into the court the signed version. I don't know if there's a mix-up in the filing, but we definitely signed her.
Okay, I don't know either, counsel, but I'm not, this is probably not the hearing that I'm prepared to necessarily deal with that, but I would just indicate that the complaint is S/ with your signature. However, there is no signature on the notice at all.
Well, we'll get an
So-
updated version filed, Your Honor. I know for a fact that we have it signed.
Well, I don't know that. All right, so I'm gonna adjourn it out to December 26, 2025 at 2 p.m. Ma'am, that is an in-person hearing.
okay,
Right.
thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's December 26th at what time?
2 p.m.
Your Honor, can we request that the money be placed in escrow the non-payment owed?
Well, under the court rule, I'm not far enough out that I can order escrow. I can reserve the issue of escrow, but I can't order that whole entire amount be paid into escrow because that would be in violation of the court rule.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Huron Vista versus Sabrina Jackson.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Samantha Sprague-Pete, 1931, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning. And is she here?
Yes.
Miss Jackson?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there you are. I do need a camera.
Okay.
Counsel? Oh, thank you. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Yes, this is a non-payment of rent. This is the first hearing. There's currently past due rent in the amount of $5,340 and court costs in the amount of $239.40 for a total due and owing of $5,579.40.
All right. And Miss Jackson, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I am currently working on that. I was just furloughed from my job on December 1st. And I've been having issues with my unemployment claim. And prior to me being furloughed, why the back rent was so high, I was getting like a quarter of my pay due to hour reduction. So I did reach out to Hawk, and I was not eligible at the time because I had received assistance when I was going through issues with the last apartment when Arbor 1 was condemned. So I was eligible for that as of January. So I am reaching out for assistance with that. I have been in constant contact with Sheena as well, which is the property manager.
Okay, you were an Arbor 1 tenant?
Yes, sir.
When did you move in here?
I moved into Huron Vista February 17th. My apartment was condemned, I want to say in September, but I moved into Arbor 1 in May of 2024.
Right. Okay. And you, when you were dealing with the Arbor 1 case, and I don't have it in front of me, were there any funds that you placed into Arbor 1 escrow with the court? Do you know?
No, not at that time, but I moved out in February and my rent was paid up until January. Through my job, I opened a case because I paid services, and they denied me of funds which I was anticipating, which was for November. And they were not corresponding with my lawyer at all. So I wasn't getting the funds from that. And then like my funds being cut from work, it was just a series.
Okay, I understand, but all right. So I just needed to know whether or not there might have been funds at the court
Mhm.
out of those cases here, but it doesn't appear that they are.
Okay.
All right. So you're gonna either need to work something out with the landlord, try to find some assistance or do something else.
Mhm.
Yeah, in the case, I'll give you a week to try to figure that out and figure out what you're gonna do in this instance. I'll adjourn this to December 26, 2025 at 2 p.m. That's an in-person hearing.
Your
And
Honor,
yes,
is it possible to request an alternate date?
always.
Thank you.
Why?
Conflict,
Hold it.
scheduling conflict.
Isn't Christmas over?
We've just begun.
It's 26. Christmas is over. Midnight, it's done. Right? That's what I'm thinking. But what? Okay, I can give you another date because but it's January 9th.
That's fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
So it work? All right.
Thank you.
All right. It'll be adjourned to January 9th, 2026
Great.
at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. And I love Christmas, in case anybody is trying to say that. So I know that's what will come out of that. Huron Vista versus Charday Payne.
Attorney Samantha Sprague, P81931, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Charday Payne.
Yes.
Okay, there you are. Okay, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, this is a first hearing on a non-payment of rent. We do show that currently there is past due rent in the amount of $4,895 and court costs in the amount of $239.40 for a total due and owing of $5,134.40.
Ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
So I'm working right now. I wasn't working for like a month and a half. I've also reached out to Hawk. I have an in-person appointment with them on January the 12th.
The 12th?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things about you're gonna have to get this to under 3,000. Is there anything that you can pay in the interim?
Yes, they did tell me that I have to get it under 3,000 because that's the most that they'll pay. Like I said, I'm working right now. I just got paid yesterday, so I can pay something on it, but no, I don't have.
How much do you think you can pay?
Right now I can pay 800 and then I can pay another 800 on my next payday.
Okay. The next payday is gonna be, so you just got paid, and so your next payday is gonna be right after the new year, right?
Yeah, December or January the 1st.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. You need to pay 800. I'm gonna indicate you'll get that paid by Monday, the 22nd, okay? So get 800 into them. Do another 800. How much is your monthly rent?
$1,588.
Okay, so you need to get another 800 in by, let's just say January 2nd. What that's gonna at least do is keep this number where it is right now, or right around in that ballpark, because I'm gonna adjourn this out into January, okay?
Okay.
But you need to make those payments and then figure out where you're gonna come up with the other, if Hawk's gonna help you with the other approximately 2,000. All right?
Okay.
Okay, January 9th, 2026, 3 p.m. in person.
Thank you, Your Honor.
January 9th.
All right, thank you.
Wait, January 9th at 3, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Is that it for you, counsel?
It is. Have a Merry Christmas, Your Honor.
Yes, I will. And you have a Merry Christmas and enjoy the day after, apparently. All right.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Barnes and Barnes versus Sharice Christian.
That was freaking good.
And Dylan Rose.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Dylan Rose is here, actually. Yeah, defendant too.
Dylan Rose?
I'm here.
Okay, there he is. All right. What is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, this is 2820 in rent, 295 in costs for 3115.
3115. All right. And Ms. Rose, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I filled out an application through SCR, and I'm currently working. I just my car gave out on me, so I had lost my other job, so I had to find something in Ipsy. So I'm good now. I just need to catch up.
Okay. So just so that you know, if you filled out an SCR, you'll need to fill out the rental assistance form that came in your packet, supply that to the court by next Wednesday. Actually, I have to move that, don't I? You have to supply that actually by the 26th, next Friday.
Okay.
Because the court is closed those 2 days. So you have to supply that form. How many people are in your apartment?
Just me.
Just you? So
Yeah.
that you know, there's only going to be about 410 if they give you the maximum amount of the award on an SCR.
Okay.
Okay. So just so
All
that
right.
you're aware of that, is there anything that you can pay in the interim next week?
I should be able to next week, Friday. I just
Okay,
waiting for my first
how much do you
paycheck.
think you can, how much do you think you can pay?
600.
Okay. We'll deal with that. Also, you can contact plaintiff's office or your landlord, see if you can arrange something.
Okay.
All right.
Appreciate
I
it.
will adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Court calls case Spencer Collins versus Gendria Brown.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff.
We have her. I'm sorry.
He's there and he's just not speaking.
Brown?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your name?
Gendry Brown.
All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Including costs 8967.25.
8967.25. All right, sir. How are you intending on getting that paid?
Me and Mr. Collins have worked out a deal. I've owed that amount since September, October, but I've continued to pay my rent over the last 2 months. And so
are you indicating that you and Mr. Collins worked out an agreement of some type?
yes, sir.
Mr. Friedman, you don't know anything about that, I take it.
No, Your Honor, not with this kind of balance.
Yeah, okay. So, sir, what I'm going to do, if you're saying that there's an agreement, I suggest that you contact the attorney's office so that he can talk to his client about whatever this agreement was. I'll adjourn this out to the 26th, 2025 at 3 p.m. in person. So you need, if that agreement, if there is one, is somehow or another going to have to be reduced to writing to resolve this, if indeed there is an agreement. All right, sir?
I've been paying my rent over the last 2 months. I feel like this case isn't about rent. But
well, okay, I'll ask. What do you think it's about?
like I said, we came up with an agreement here. And the plaintiff has requested, several times that we keep this out of court. But I've had several open heart surgeries and I fell behind. And Mr. Collins have been, he's been great with working with me. But I think it's more personal because I've gone back to work now and I'm not always available for Mr. Collins. And, like I say, he's begged me to keep this out of court. And so this was like a knee-jerk reaction like this
Okay.
this was very unexpected.
Then, sir, what I'm going to suggest, if you believe you have a claim regarding that you might want to contact legal services or an attorney to advise you as to what your rights may be as to any of that. All right?
Yes, sir.
But I'm adjourning this out 1 week to the 26th. And again, I might suggest that you contact claimants counsel to see if there is an agreement that can be worked out.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Portage Pass versus Kyrie Armstrong.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff.
Armstrong. Oh, there. I think that's him. You'll have to unmute, sir.
Right here. Hello, Your Honor.
Okay. Hello. All right. What is plaintiff's claim?
Good in cost of 7374.97.
All right. And Mr. Armstrong, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I have a settlement coming in the mail soon.
You have, I'm sorry?
A settlement that I recently spoke to my landlord about. A check coming in the mail soon to pay off that debt.
Oh, okay. So you're expecting money and you're going to get this all paid off.
Correct.
Do you think that's going to occur within the next week?
Not the next week, but at least probably by January the 15th is what they said. I actually have written.
Okay. Well, Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to suggest that you contact the attorney for the landlord, see if something can be worked out, if that's what it is.
Also,
the phone number will be.
Sorry, Your Honor. Also, the amount. Can you list the amount again that I owe?
It's $7,374.97.
I have a whole different amount on this paper here. I don't think that's correct.
I know, because that's probably through November.
Okay.
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 So I will adjourn this out. I suggest that you contact Mr. Friedman's office, see if something can be worked out. If you're receiving a lump sum payment, can get this paid. But I'll adjourn this to December 26, 2025, 3 p.m. 3 p.m.
Can we do a later date if possible?
Not you get 1 week, and I'm not going to do it unless the plaintiff is going to agree. And by his silence, it looks like he's not. Okay. So it'll be the 26th at 3.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is that it for you, Mr. Friedman?
That's it for this morning, Your Honor. Thank you.
For this morning. All right, we'll see you this afternoon. Court calls the case of Orchard Grove versus Patrick Anderson.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brent Digger for the plaintiff.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, he's there. All right, this is non-payment of rent. What is plaintiff's claim?
Right now, the rent to retain is $2,240.64. There's cost of $193 for a total of $2,433.64.
All right. Mr. Anderson, how are you going to get that paid?
As expediently as possible. My hot water heater went out, kind of wrecked my house, so that took my lot rent. So now I just have to catch up.
Okay, so you don't know when you're going to get this paid?
I'm trying to get it paid by the end of the year, honestly, because I don't like being behind.
All right. Here's what I will do. Is there anything you can pay before next week?
Yep, I can probably put 500 on it today, probably another 5 next week.
All right, so 500 today.
Yep.
And then you think 500 sometime next week?
Yep.
All right. Suggest you try to do that. I won't say do it by Christmas, but do it at least on the 26th. I'll adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Orchard Grove versus Nathan Allport.
Brent Digger for plaintiff.
And Paul Cochran and Stacy Allport Jen.
Gang.
Jean, okay, I'm sorry.
Hello, Your Honor. My son Nathan no longer lives here and my father is deceased. I am the only one that lives here in my mobile home. Just so
Okay.
you know.
Gotcha. All right, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Right now, I'm showing rent to retain of $1,684.58, cost of $270, leaving a grand total of $1,954.58.
All right. Ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I can pay, if there's any way I can make a payment arrangement. I can pay $180 today, possibly
Okay.
up to 200 next week, because I have sold some things on eBay, and I can give at least 400 when I get my check this month. If there's any way
When is that gonna happen?
that
you
would
think?
happen on the 29th, sir. I
All
get
right.
a disability but I get a check from Chime, so it comes a bit early.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
So
the problem is my father died in February, and I have had a change in my trustee, and things are not going very smoothly with that, and we're trying to adjust to it. And I'm
okay.
I would have had them rent this month, but they will no longer take partial payments. And I was in the hospital for a U of M, and my rent, some of things came out, subscriptions and such, and yeah, so it's a mess, but I really want to fix it. I outright own my mobile home with my trust, and I've lived here for 7 years, never had a problem until the last.
Okay, ma'am, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna adjourn this to December 26, 2025 at 1 p.m. Okay?
Yes.
All right. And make those payments that you have to the landlord.
Okay, make the payments I
And-
have.
Pardon?
So pay the 100, and then what next week?
The 180, the 200. All right, and I'm gonna order plaintiff and counsel will let them know to take the partial payments from you.
Okay,
to get that
sir.
in, to get the balance down.
Okay,
Have you
sir.
contacted Hawk to see if you can get some assistance to get this paid?
I did an SCR, but they denied me, so I'm going to call Hawk.
Okay. So I would get on the phone with them today, okay?
Yes, sir, I will, and I will. Is that in person next week?
Yes, it is. The 26th at 1.
In Saline, correct?
No, ma'am.
In Ann Arbor.
I'm in beautiful Pittsfield Township.
Okay, Pittsfield Township. All right,
And
sir.
it's not Ann Arbor. And some of us in Pittsfield resent when people say that. No,
Is
I'm
it
kidding.
14th District?
Yes, it is. 14A.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
We're
I've
up-
never
we're-
been in
we're right
trouble
by the
down
sheriff's
here.
department.
Okay, I've never been in trouble down here, thank God, so I didn't know.
Well, not everybody that comes here is in trouble, but okay, I
No.
get it.
Yeah, I'm just struggling. I'm trying to waddle through and figure things out, and I just pray I get a chance. And
Okay,
have a
yes,
Merry
ma'am.
Christmas.
You do the same.
See you next week.
Yes, ma'am. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, this is a non-payment of rent case. I have that the past due balance is currently $1,896.28. The court costs are $179, so the total is $2,075.28.
Sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Okay. I was living in a house by myself, and when my sister bought the house, she passed away, and we was paying the lot. It was $650. We was doing it half, but when she passed away, like everything fell down, and I was trying to find a job because I lost my job, and I'm doing my application right now. I'm keep doing it, but I didn't get my job yet. And I gotta talk to my mom about this, that we can figure it out trying to pay the rent.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna adjourn this out to December 26th, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Hall.
Well, I don't know. I have that day off, but somebody else can.
Well, my next date, I'll do whatever. My next date is January 9th, however.
Okay, I'll do the 26th, Your Honor.
All right. 26, 2025 at 1 p.m., sir. And what I'm going to suggest, sir, is that you contact Hawk and do that immediately. Did you get that number?
No.
Pardon?
No.
No? Okay, it was on the video. You got something to write with?
Yeah, I'm gonna call that number today.
Pardon?
I said I'm gonna call the number today.
Okay, so you have the number to Hawk.
No.
Okay. You want to write it down?
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Area code 734.
Okay.
961.
Okay.
1999.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Call them today.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Your Honor, requesting a default judgment in this case. I have that the past due rent is $17,348.57. The costs are $175 for a total of $17,523.57. We're requesting a default judgment. We did also request a money judgment. I don't have the proof of service.
But I do not have. I have service by attachment.
Okay, so it would be for possession, only giving the defendant until December 29th to pay or vacate.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days. Bushwood Properties versus John Cesar.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
And he's here. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim?
The total amount owing, including court costs, is $1,735.
All right. And sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
So by Sunday, I'll have 1,000. I already have 800 in cash. I'm scheduled to work all day the 26th. I presume I'm probably going to get this oriented into that day.
So you have 1,000. You can get to them by Monday, say?
I have more than that, yeah. And then the end of that week, I'll probably pay the rest of it off.
Okay. I've got to note my file.
No worries.
You said you have 800 and you have 1,000, but how much can you pay by Monday? Let's look at it that way.
So I'll have 1,000 by Monday.
All right.
And I'm also scheduled to work all day the 26th, but by that Saturday, the rest of it should be paid off as well. The whole 1,700.
Your Honor, I've dealt with Mr. Cesar before. I trust him. I don't want him to lose a work day because he has paid something since I filed the case. I don't have a problem if you adjourn it out to the 9th. And if he pays the entire balance by next Saturday, I would be dismissing the case anyway.
All right. So, sir, I'll adjourn this out to January 9th, 2026 at 2 p.m. But you won't need, that's an in-person hearing, but you won't need to appear if you get it all paid off as you're indicating.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
And to you, sir.
Thank you.
Bushwood Properties versus Laquan Morris.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Not checked in.
Laquan Morris, they are not checked in. If you'd like to take a default, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Your Honor, I'm
Go
David
ahead.
Fantair. I'm the attorney for Bushwood Properties, and as such, I'm familiar with the books and records as they relate to this tenancy. In this case, there's rent owing in the amount of $980.24. Court costs of $175 for a total of $1,155.24. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested. Writ to issue in 10 days. Ian Greenlee versus Ebony Britt.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Ebony Britt, they are not checked in. You may proceed.
In this case, there's rent owing in the amount of $1,543, court costs of $175 for a total of $1,718. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ issue in 10 days. Mrs. Haverkamp LLC versus Joshua Dent and Sean Dent.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Jessica or Sean Dent, not present. You may proceed.
In this case, there's rent owing in the amount of $2,565.
Sir, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, hold on. Who are you?
I'm Joshua Dent. I live at the property. My father is just the co-signer.
Okay, you're Joshua. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Fantera, how much is owing?
The total balance, including court costs, is $2,753.
All right. And sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I plan on getting that paid with my next couple of checks. November was just a rough month for me. I went through a mental health crisis. I have an appointment with a psychologist and therapist for later this month to make sure I'm all good. But I am also applying for HAWC and Section 8. I'm waiting to hear back from them still.
All right. So you have a call into Hawk?
Yes, I will be calling them again today. I called them earlier in the week and had to leave a message because no one answered.
All right. And sir, before next Friday, is there anything that you can pay?
I should be getting paid by next Tuesday and should be able to pay at least $800 on it.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll indicate 800 by the 23rd. Okay. And then I'll adjourn this case out to December 26, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing.
Would we be able to, sir, Your Honor, would we be able to push that to January? I do have an appointment on that day at that time.
Mr. Fantera?
I can't, Your Honor, I can't do that. The amount is too big.
All right. So you'll have to figure out how to get down here on that date, on the 26th, sir.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you anyway. I hope you have a good day. Merry Christmas.
Mr. Fantera, how much is owing on this?
The balance, including court costs, is $3,083.
All right. Mr. Irving, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I have just gotten an approval for a loan off of my 401k. That should be in sometime next week, before Friday, I'm hoping, or by Friday at the latest.
All right. And will that be enough to cover?
Yeah, that will cover the entire cost. Yes, sir.
All right. So what I'm going to indicate is that you're going to pay the balance. You're going to try to do that by the 26th. What I will do is I will adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, but if you got everything paid, you don't need to come down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good holiday.
You as well. Merry Christmas.
The court does call the case of Walkabout Creek Apartments versus Anastasia West.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. West. How are you?
Could be better.
Okay. Well, couldn't we all, right? All right. Mr. Fantera, how much is owing on this?
The balance, including court costs, is $3,983.
Ms. West, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Well, last time I was here, hi, Mr. Fantero, sorry to see you again. Last time I was here, we had agreed on, I think, something over 2,000, and I had complied with that. So I recently experienced right after I paid that, I recently experienced a domestic violence situation where he destroyed my means of income, which was like all my equipment and stuff, which resulted in court case in another court. He did not appear, and there's now a bench warrant for him. I had to replace that on my own. However, I'm talking to you on said equipment, and I can do it. Like, I'm good for it. I can do it. I know I can. I just need it.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so when did all that occur?
I have the letter from the prosecutor's office that happened October 14th. And I have police
Oh,
reports and
okay,
all of
it's
that.
all right. I gotcha. It's all right. Okay, so in essence, you've been trying to rebuild through November to get
Yeah.
yourself to this point.
With
All
a
right.
7-year-old running amok. And I'm not like that other mama. I need to pay my bills. So it's like Christmas gonna fall on the family. They're gonna figure that out for us.
You got a 7-year-old?
Yeah.
How much is your monthly rent?
It's like 18 something.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Which is with what I'm doing, like it's no problem. Like I moved here in April, and also like prior to that, I've never been evicted. I know, like I'm a worker. That's what I do. There's no excuses for this. Money needs to be paid.
Well, okay. I hear you. Okay. But sometimes when going through life, you may need a break and let yourself get caught up, and you got to sometimes take a breath. All right. So here's what we're going to do on this case. Between, say, now and let's say the end of the year, how much do you think you can pay to the landlord?
I can pay definitely like 1,200 between now and the end of the year. I get paid
All right.
every Friday, depending on when the bank clears it in the evening. However, because of what I do, I can make more than that. The potential to
Okay.
make more than that, but that's a minimum. But I had to start from ground zero. But Mr. Fantera, I'm good for it.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Do you have a case number on that DV?
Yes.
On the letter from the prosecutor? Can you give me that case number?
Oh. 38.
Get that? Can you check the status of that?
I can try. I think that's a CIN.
It's a what?
I think she gave me the CTN. I need.
Oh, you gave the CTN number. Do you see a case number, ma'am?
That's what it says. It says case key.
Can you repeat it again for us?
202-500-4738.
4738. That's that's some other type, but
It's their number.
it's their number, but we can find it because that's got to be a CTN.
It's a CTN, but do we know what jurisdiction it's out of?
Washtenaw County.
It's out of Washtenaw, but it's going to be likely the address here is Dexter.
No, that's not.
So it's going to be a 3.
202-500-4738.
Yes. It's missing numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just going to double check. I don't have any reason to doubt anything that you said, Miss West.
Okay.
But I'm going to do something a little bit different. I need you to get 1,200 paid to the landlord, and I need that to get paid by December 30th.
I got you. I got it.
Okay. So I want that paid by December 30th. Mr. Fantera, and maybe over the objection of the plaintiff, but given the circumstances, I am going to adjourn this out to January 9th, 2026 at 2 p.m. That's going to be an in-person hearing. So, ma'am, what I'm going to suggest to you is that between now and then, especially now that you got your equipment and everything back up, that you pay as much as you can to the landlord then we'll see on that date and see how we can work out the rest. Fair enough?
It's super fair. Thank you. It's way more than I could have asked for. Thank you.
All right, and here's what, you're gonna pay $1,200 to the landlord,
Yes.
and you have a 7-year-old,
Yes, I do.
and you keep saying that's gonna be on the family? So here's what I want you to do. No, just listen to me. You pay $1,100 to the landlord, you take $100, and you go get that 7-year-old something for Christmas. You hear me? Okay, Miss West? All right. No reason with everything going on that the little one can't have something. Okay? You found it?
Yeah, it's not entered yet.
It's not entered yet?
Correct.
Oh, so it may be pending or something. She thinks there's a bench.
It hasn't been entered into their GIS yet, so the bench warrant may be coming.
The bench warrant may be.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, we know where it is. Okay, Miss West, you're gonna do that for me? All right. You have a blessed holiday, Miss West. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to work today.
Yes.
Now I remember the previous case, Your Honor.
Huh?
Now I remember the previous
For
case.
the previous case, yes.
And I was good for it, right, Mr. Fantera?
Yes, Miss West. Good luck.
You're good for it. You're gonna get through this. All right. Walkabout Creek versus Rochelle Ritchie.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Rochelle Ritchie? Not present. You may proceed.
In this case, there's rent owing in the amount of $1,896, court costs of $175 for a total amount owing of $2,071. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that's by default for possession, redemption amount, in the amount requested with a writ issue in 10 days. YPF 16 LLC versus Christina Morgan and Carrie Jones.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Morgan. Christina Morgan. You'll need, thank you. All right, and you'll need to turn your camera on. Mr. Fantera, how much is owing?
As of this time, the balance, including court costs, is $1,338.
All right. Ms. Morgan, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I'm working on it. I'm actually my lease ends on the 31st. I've tried to move out back in October actually. I was told no. Then the whole entire month of October, my heat did not work. I sat there for about 6 weeks with no heat. They gave
So,
me.
ma'am, let me ask you this: are you going to get an attorney and claim? And
No, not really. My lease ends on the 31st. I just really want to just leave, and pay my balance.
Pardon?
I said I really want to just leave my lease and pay my balance. That's it.
All right. Well, are you going to pay anything between now and next week?
No, I don't have it to pay.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do, because she's entitled to the week. I'll adjourn it to December 26, 2025, 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. I suggest you call Mr. Fantera's office, see if you can work something out regarding a move out. All right? Thank you. YPF 16 versus Virgil Dunlap.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Not check. He might be. That might be Virgil, I think. Mr. Dunlap? If that's you, wave your hand. Or maybe not. I don't know. Might be trying to. That's him. Okay.
Okay.
State your name.
Virgil Dunlap.
Yep, that's him. All right. How are you, Mr. Dunlap?
Okay, Your Honor.
All right. This is plaintiff's claim for termination of tenancy.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Dunlap? Is this just a month to month? Is that the deal?
Yeah, his lease expired at the end of last year, Your Honor.
Got it. All right, Mr. Dunlap, they want you to move. What do you want to say to that?
You know, because I'm caught up on my rent.
No, Your Honor,
Okay.
we actually haven't accepted the rent for the last couple of months because of Park Forest.
Right. Okay. So they're looking for you to leave. Are you going to get an attorney to represent you?
Why do I have to leave?
Pardon?
They just took my rent for this month.
What do you mean they took your rent?
I paid rent for this month.
Your Honor,
What about last? Go ahead, Mr. Fenter.
I looked at the ledger yesterday just to make sure that that we had no problem, and I saw that there was no payment.
It's payment.
Who'd you give it to?
I'm sending it into the rent office in Lansing.
Well,
in Lansing?
Yeah, that's where I mail my rent to.
If they get it, they'll send it back, Your Honor. They will not take it.
Yeah, I already took it.
Have they sent the other ones back?
Nope. Hello?
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Dunlap.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Every month I pay my rent, Your Honor.
No, I got you. It becomes a different issue, Mr. Dunlap, but here's what I'm going to do, Mr. Dunlap. If you're going to get an attorney or somebody to represent you, you need to do that, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, so you'll need to come down to the courthouse, okay?
Your Honor, can I get a later date?
No, that's the best I can do. All right, but what I need you to come down to the courthouse on that date. If you've got proof of your payments and everything, bring that with you. Okay, and then Mr. Fantera, I'm sure, will be able to check with his client where this money is, because if they accepted it, that becomes an issue.
How do you pay, Mr. Dunlap?
Last month, before I went down on Huron Street in Ypsilanti, they told me to drop it off down there. I did that. This month, she told me to mail it in, and I did that on the 4th.
Who told you to do that?
The rent office lady down in Lansing.
All right. So you sent a money order?
Yep.
All right.
Well, and that becomes a problem if they're telling him to pay it also.
Well, I doubt that they'd be doing that because this is a case which the city of Ypsilanti is pressuring us to get Mr. Dunlap out because of people he's got in his department.
Got it. Okay. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Dunlap, we'll need to see you down at the courthouse on the 26th at 1, okay?
Okay, Your Honor. Can I say one thing?
If it's short. Oh, he froze.
Okay.
I can't. You're breaking up on me. I can't hear you, Mr. Dunlap.
I said I've been in jail for the last 3 months.
You what?
I have been incarcerated.
You've been incarcerated?
Yeah, for the last 3 months.
Okay. come down next week and we'll sort it all out, Mr. Dunlap, all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, Your Honor,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Your Honor, have a Merry Christmas and we'll see you next Friday.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Your Honor.
You do the same. And just to dismiss these, Haverkamp versus
What day-
Hyatt,
what date?
Haverkamp versus Brandy Daniel, and Walkabout Creek versus Davis. Those matters are dismissed on plaintiff's motion without prejudice. And court does call the case of 267 North Steinbach LLC, DBA Lisa Callis versus James Bishop. Okay. Callis, Mr. Bishop, they're here. Callis, who owns the property?
267 North Steinbach.
Oh, you broke up there. So it's the corporation that owns it?
Yes.
Okay, are you an attorney?
No.
All right, you're gonna need to be represented by an attorney when you come to court on these. I see the DBA, but that's not gonna work because the corporation actually owns it, so it's considered a separate entity. All right. So for how much time would you need to get an attorney?
Well, we actually worked a payment arrangement out with James. In the last 5 days, he's paid $4,480. And so his balance is now only $1,395 for the month of December. And he's gonna pay the next 6 Tuesdays until the end of his lease, which is February 1st, $700 a piece to pay rent in
Okay,
full.
I hear you. I'm glad you guys worked it out, but I can't have you represent the corporation in court, is what I'm indicating. So I couldn't give you a judgment. I can't do anything. All right. And you don't look like the type that wants to commit a 4-year felony by practicing law. So I'm trying to stop that from happening. Okay.
Okay. Even like
All
it's
right.
an LLC.
So if
is
you
that-
guys, ma'am, you guys have the opportunity. If you guys want to put it on, but not have it part of a court proceeding, I don't have a problem and dismiss the case and you guys have your own agreement. I don't have a problem with that. But if you want something entered in court for the corporation, I'm going to need an attorney to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Could I get a couple days to think about it?
Pardon?
Could I get a couple days to think about it?
That's fine with me. So I can adjourn it out to the 26th or I can go later. My next date after that's January 9th, whatever your pleasure is, you guys. You guys seem to be working it out, quite frankly, but.
Okay, then I'm fine working it out with James.
All right. So what date do you want me to give you to adjourn it out to?
Let's not adjourn it out.
Oh, you just want to dismiss it?
Yeah, I'll work it out with James.
Okay. Fantastic. That works. Then I'll dismiss the case. That's without prejudice. So if you have to bring it back, you can bring it back. But I'll dismiss it. All right. And Mr. Bishop, you don't have a problem with that, I don't think, do you?
Nope.
Okay.
We're all good.
All right. This case is dismissed. You guys have a wonderful, happy, blessed holiday, please.
You too.
Spice Tree Apartments versus Michaela Gross.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff.
And it's here.
Not shipped in.
She is not. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Again, for the record, Your Honor, Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, this is an action for termination of tenancy following issuance of a notice to quit for lease violations. Specifically, Your Honor, as indicated in the notice to quit, there was a violation of the crime-free section, prohibited conduct, sections of the lease agreement. Your Honor, there was a police raid at the unit based on a search warrant, searching for certain information. This does constitute a violation of the lease agreement. As indicated, a 30-day notice was issued, has expired, and defendant remains in possession of the unit. Therefore, we would request entry of a default possession-only judgment with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default. For possession, there is no redemption amount. Writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you.
That
That's it
has
for
to
me
be the
this morning.
shortest. That has to be the shortest docket you've ever had with me.
I would agree. I suspect my afternoon docket will not be so short. So
That's true. All right.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Evergreen Apartments versus Paisley Brennan.
Carissa Gazzari for plaintiff.
She's here. Paisley Brennan.
I'm here, Paisley Brennan.
Okay, there you
All
are.
right.
All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $2,585.39, which includes court costs.
All right. Ms. Brennan, how are you intending on getting that paid?
It's not that I can't pay it. It's just that I've had a bunch of issues with that apartment, and I put in several maintenance requests. Like my oven has been broken since May. I put in a request for it. They said they put on the request that they fixed it. So I put in another request. It still has not been fixed. I haven't been able to use it since May. I have to turn off the breakers in my house in order for the oven to not be on, so in order for me to even use the stovetop, I'm turning the breakers on and off. I just don't feel safe there anymore. There's black mold growing there. Nothing has been done about that. Also somebody above me, I don't know what's wrong, but a lot of times my ceiling leaks into my light fixtures, into the outlets. So a lot of times I can't turn my lights on and off for days at a time because I'm scared that the apartment will blow up. I have a daughter who just turned 1 year old, and it just doesn't seem like it doesn't feel like a safe environment.
Ma'am, here's what you're going to have to do. Then you're
Okay.
going to need to file a written answer with the court. All right. What's their time on that? Noon. Okay, because of the holiday and scheduling, I'm going to adjourn this to December 26, 2025 at noon, you said? Yes. At 12 noon. You'll need to file an answer to that by 9 o'clock that morning.
Okay. I do work on the 26th during that time. I don't get off until 2:30. Is there
Well,
any
ma'am,
way
you're gonna have to make the time to get in here because
Okay.
your case has got to be heard.
I'll just let them know.
All right. So I need a written answer by 9 a.m. that day, and then we'll see you at noon.
Okay. Noon on the 26th.
Right?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Court calls case of Evergreen versus Kenyatta Mitchell.
Carissa Gazzari for plaintiff.
Hello.
She's here. Yep, she's here. Hello, Ms. Mitchell.
Hi.
All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
$1,998.90, which includes court costs.
Ms. Mitchell, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I did apply for SCR. I had my meeting this morning. They told me that I needed a judgment, but I have the complaint
No.
here. So I was
Yeah,
gonna
you
call
don't need a
back.
judgment. You just need the complaint
Okay.
down there. Okay, so you applied for an SER.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Have you called Hawk?
I have not.
Okay, you might want to try them also. How many people are in your apartment?
Just me and my children, so 3.
3?
Mhm.
Okay, so just so that you know, if you do get approved for an SER in full amount,
Mhm.
it's only going to be about $620 of this amount.
Okay. And then I can pay the
Okay.
rest. Yes.
So that you know, all right? So since you applied for an SER, you're entitled to an adjournment.
Okay.
There's a form in your packet called a rental assistance form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that rental assistance form needs to be filled out. Okay, so
Yes.
you have to fill that form out. You have to file that with the court. And that's a Wednesday. We had a problem with that, didn't we? Because we're closed on that Wednesday. So you need to file that by the 26th, the morning of the 26th. Okay?
Yes.
And I'll adjourn this out to December 26th, 2025 at 12 noon.
Thank you.
Is that right? Yes. Okay, at 12 noon. That's an in-person hearing. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You do the same. Evergreen Apartments versus Lene Dunn.
Marissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Your Honor, she's not checked in. There was an L done, checked in at some point, but not here anymore.
There was an L done that was checked in, but not here.
There's someone
Uh-oh.
waving.
She's waving. Somebody's waving at me. Maybe that's just because they like me. I don't know. Hello. Are you Miss Dunn?
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you. Okay, very good. Okay, you got her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is the claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $1,630.69.
All right. And Ms. Dunn, how are you going to get that paid?
Today I could pay 600 and then I get paid again on Friday, and next week Friday. And I also applied for SER, and I also called Hawk, which I will call them again to see what they say.
Okay. So let me make sure I've got it right. You're going to pay 600 today?
Yes.
Okay. So you pay 600 today, and then on the 26th, next Friday, how much can you pay?
I want to say 1,000. I'm just thinking of my other bills. But I can pay 1,000.
You think you can pay 1,000? All right.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so if you can pay 1,000 by the 26th, then you'll almost have this all paid off. But let's do this. I'll adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at noon. That's an in-person hearing, and that 1,000, if you can get that paid early in the day, I would appreciate it, so that maybe we can check and make sure everything's known. If you add, so just so you know, if you pay the 600,
yes,
and if you can somewhere in there, either between the payment today or the payment next week, get $31 in, or $30.69, then you don't have to appear that day if everything's paid. But you just have to make sure everything's paid.
Okay.
Did that make sense? Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, as I was talking, I was confusing myself, but I thought I was saying all right.
No, it makes sense.
All right. Okay, then we may see you on the 26th at noon.
Okay,
all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
You too.
Glencoe Hills versus Shayna Williams.
Marissa Gazari for plaintiff.
And Jacqueline Murphy.
I'm here.
Where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $3,119.36, which includes court costs.
All right. And Ms. Williams, how are you intending on getting that paid?
So first of all, good morning. I can pay at least 1,200 to 1,500 by the 26th. And then I can have the remainder paid. I get paid again on the 8th, 9th. I can have it paid by then. I had to put my car in the shop. I'm sorry.
Pardon?
I said I had to put my car in the shop. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So you can have 1,200 to 1,500 paid by the 26th, you think?
Correct.
All right. Why don't we start there and then see what we can come up with, all right?
Okay.
So get that paid. I'll adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at 12 noon. Okay? And what that will do, so if you can get that payment in, try to get that in before the court hearing. And then we'll see where we are and see if something can be worked out on this for the balance.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care. Court calls case of Glencoe Hills versus Kathy Ann Haynes. and Anthony Haynes.
Marissa Gazari, appearing for plaintiff. Your Honor, I received notification from my client that defendants paid in full yesterday, so we are seeking a dismissal without prejudice.
That case is dismissed. Plaintiff's motion without prejudice.
Thank you.
Glencoe Hills versus Miguel Lopez. You guys.
Marissa
Samuel
Gazari.
Lopez here.
Oh, there he is.
Marissa Gazari for plaintiff. I think there's 3 defendants in this case.
Yes, and there's Bruche Collins and Samuel Lopez. Okay, there's Bruche, and we're missing one, right? But I got 2 of them. Okay. All right. So what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $1,152.87, which includes court costs.
Okay, folks, how are we getting this paid?
I'll have it paid on the 26th.
You get paid? It's going to get paid on the 26th?
Yeah, I'll get paid the 10th and the 25th.
Oh, I got you. So you're going to get paid on Christmas and you're going to be able to get that into the office on the 26th?
Right.
Okay. Ms. Collins, you good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, she didn't say anything. She just sitting up there just smiling like, okay, he gonna pay it. All right, so I'll indicate that you're gonna pay the balance by the 26th. Try to get that in before noon. All right, but early part of the morning if you can, okay?
Okay.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'll adjourn this case to the 26th, 2025 at noon. All right, and then hopefully what will happen is that the complex will let the attorneys know and the case can be dismissed. So if you have everything paid, I don't need to see you guys. But if you don't have everything paid, then you got to come down to the court for the in-person hearing.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Have a good holiday, guys.
You too. Thank you.
Glencoe Hills versus Michael McPherson Jr.
Marissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Yep, there he is up there. I think he's there. Nice beard, but he doesn't know how to work the mute thing. All right.
Hi, Your Honor. Michael McPherson Jr., Your Honor.
All right. What's the plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $1,716.23.
All right. And Mr. McPherson, how are you going to get that paid, sir?
Okay, Your Honor. Just to start with the situation, I was currently working at Petco at Arborland Plaza. Got injured, lumbar injury on my back, so I had to take some unfortunately unpaid time off from work through the company. And by the time I got back, I was a month behind, so I just started paying on the following month. I had a late fee, which ended up adding to my $212 I was originally late. And then by the time the 4th or 5th came, I wasn't aware that it was a deadline. So the court fees and stuff got added to that on top of the late rent. And this is where I am right now. Currently, I'm currently working with the Hawk program. I have an appointment with them on the 23rd. I'm also working with my caseworker at DHS with the SER. Currently, I just had an interview at Zach's Auto Wash on Washington, trying to get another job. I also have set up an interview today with Marshals at Arborland Plaza, so I'm just trying to get back on track. I had a lot of family situations. I'm not sure if you heard of London Thomas, but that was my niece, the one that got found in Detroit in a car. So it's been a lot of trauma.
Okay.
I'm on SSDI, so I've been trying to get right with my medicine, back and forth to CMH and everything.
Okay. Here's what we'll do, Mr. McPherson. You got a lot of irons in the fire, but you at least it looks like you got a plan. Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you this: between now and the 26th, is there anything that you think you can pay?
I would have to reach out. I would have to reach out to like family or something right now. The only form of
let's do this.
Right now.
I'm going to adjourn this to the 26th, 2025 at noon. That's an in-person hearing at the courthouse, okay?
Okay.
If you get the time between now and the 26th to call the attorney's office to see if you can work something out regarding payment of this, but you have a lot of things in the, you'll also know, hopefully something on the 23rd, whether or not Hawk can help you. All right, but you
Understood,
seem to
Your
be
Honor,
on your
yes.
way. Okay, there's a form in your packet that's called a rental assistance form. You'll need to fill that out and file it with the court by the morning of the 26th.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I emailed one of those to the court already. Do I have to fill out another one?
Did you? Hang on.
Yes.
Hang on, you may
Okay.
have. And I've got. Let's see. Oh, no, yes, he did. So you're good. Don't worry about it. You've already got that in. We're good with you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll see you on the 26th.
And that's in person?
Yes, it is, sir.
All right.
26 at noon.
26 at noon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glencoe Hills versus Isaiah Little.
Carissa Gazzari appearing for plaintiff.
Sir. Isaiah Little, not here.
Your Honor.
Sworn. You may go ahead.
Thank you. So in this case, our client did enter the unit for either an inspection or maintenance. The unit is filled with trash. There is bodily fluids in the bathroom. I have photos for the court, and I'm happy to share my screen. But plaintiff is requesting that the court issue an immediate writ in this case due to the condition of the property. There was also a health hazard notice that Mr. Fink filed, I believe, yesterday.
Here's what I will. Does it look like somebody's residing there or no? Do you know?
I mean, I can show you the photos. I don't know if it was someone would live there with it. Look, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, why don't we do it this way? You're asking for a non-payment judgment. How much is out? What's the total amount of that?
The rent to retain possession is $1,903.04. Court costs of $171 for a total redemption of $2,074.04.
$2,074. All right, so let me do it this way. Judgment for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested. I'm going to say that a writ can issue the 23rd, but I'm going to do one additional thing, and that is pursuant to the court rule to prevent waste and damage to the apartment. Plaintiff may enter property to prevent that waste and may secure and lock the property with, as long as there's a notification as to where the tenant can get a key to enter the premises if permission would be granted, given the circumstances.
Thank you.
That makes sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. And so that second part can be done immediately.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, what is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $1,594.55, which includes court costs.
All right. Mr. Brown, how are you intending on getting that paid? Okay, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You were saying something real smart, but we couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'll be able to pay the $500 by the 25th, but I won't have the whole balance paid until the 31st.
Gotcha. Okay, so you can pay 500. You can get that in by the 25th, 26th. Okay, so here's what I'm going to suggest you do. Try to contact plaintiff's office to see if you could work out some arrangement. I realize with the holidays and the court closed, we may not be able to get that entirely done. But I'm going to adjourn this out to the 26th, December 26th, 2025 at 12 noon. Okay, if everything's not paid, and even if everything's not paid, but there is an agreement, you'll need to be down here on that date at that time.
Okay.
Okay.
I also filed a SCR as well, and I'm calling Hark today.
I'm sorry, you're SER and you're going to talk to Hawk?
Yeah, I have a tracking number for my SCR, and I have to call Hark today.
All right. So what you need to do with that tracking number is that rental assistance form in your packet. You need to fill that out and file that with the court.
Okay.
Okay. Try to get that down the first part of the week, but you know, because of the holiday, you'll have until the morning of the 26th to get that done.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Gulfside Lake 3 versus Eric Hall. Erica.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
I almost messed it up. She's gonna yell at me. And how are you doing?
I'm okay.
All right. How much is owing?
$2,749.34.
All right. How are we gonna get that paid this time?
I know it's just I can pay for sure $500, probably more, but I know for sure 500 by the 26th, and I'm gonna reach out to Hawk. But if all else fails, of course, you know I'm gonna get it paid. But for sure, next week, 500 minimum. But it's the holiday, so I'll probably make way more than that. But I can guarantee 500 next week. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's what we'll do. Pay the 500 by the 26th. Try to get that paid early in the day.
Okay.
I'll adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at noon.
Okay.
Okay. And as you know, that's an in-person hearing. All right. But
And
have you called Hawk? Have you called Hawk already?
No, not yet.
Okay. Get right to them.
Okay.
Okay. And then we'll see what we can work out. We've been able to work it out in the past. I think we can get this done too.
Okay.
All right. You
All
have a
right.
good holiday.
You too.
All right. Gulfside Lake 3 versus Emmett Red Wine.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Red Wine.
How you doing, Yana? How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing okay. All right. How much is owing?
Your Honor, the balance is $3,068.73.
All right. Emmett, how are you going to get that paid?
I'll pay minimum. I'm gonna pay at least $1,500 by next week. Minimum 15. Pay half.
15 by what day?
By next Friday.
By the 26th. Can you do that early in the day?
What time is court, Your Honor?
The court will be at 12 noon.
Yes, I would do it first. Yeah, I do it first thing. Like it's probably be done. It'd be done by 10. It'd be done before I get to court for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at 12 noon.
Okay.
Okay. Get the 1,500 in, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, Mr. Redwine?
Okay. Merry Christmas.
All right. Have a good holiday. That's probably the shortest court hearing I've ever had with you.
Let's keep it that way.
All right.
All right.
You take care.
You too, Your Honor.
All right. Gulfside Lake 3 versus Michelle Goebel. And Arlen Goebel.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hi,
Oh, there's Miss
Goebel here.
Hello, Miss Goebel.
Hello.
All right. What is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, the balance is $2,888.35, which includes court costs.
Okay. Miss Goebel, how are you guys going to get that paid?
So I do get paid next week. So I was on the 26th, I was gonna put 1,000 down. I did recently get a raise, so I'm not really sure how much I get with that raise, but I may be able to put in more by next Friday.
Okay.
And then on January 9th is when I plan on putting another 1,000 down, possibly more as well. And my plan is to have it all fully paid by January 23rd.
Okay. So we can't have that arrangement, but here's what, I can't agree to that right now or say that's okay right now. But you have a plan in mind. So get the 1,000 paid by the 26th.
Sure.
As early in the day as you possibly can, and hopefully before noon on that day. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to do that by money order on the 26th, and I work 8:30 to 5. I can see about taking half a day or something like that, but yeah, I'll get that in as soon as possible Friday.
Okay. And so, and I'm going to adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at noon.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's an in-person hearing.
In person. Okay.
Okay. So you'll need to be at the courthouse in any respect.
All right.
All right. You're welcome. And also feel free to call the attorney's office because you at least have a plan and see if they'll work with you in terms of getting those payments in.
Perfect. Will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
Have a great
holidays.
holiday. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Court calls case of Gulf Side Lake 3 versus Ashley Branch.
Marissa Gazeri for plaintiff.
Oh,
Good
there she
morning.
is. Good morning. Ms. Branch. All right. How much is owing on her?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $3,388.67.
Okay. Ms. Branch, how are you intending on getting that paid?
So yesterday I put $700 onto it. Today I'll be doing $300, and on the 26th I'll be doing $1,300. I won't be able to make another payment after the 26th until that next Wednesday.
Okay, I got you.
For the
Let's
remainder.
see. Do you have the 700 she paid on her?
Let me double check. And then there was an extra $218 on my account that I spoke with my property manager about, and it's supposed to be deducted, but it was still showing up, so it made my total $33.88 instead of what it was supposed to be. And it's a balance from October that I already paid, but she told me it wasn't popping up in her system, but it's popping up on mine, so it's making my total that much. But I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So just so I'm clear what you're telling me that the 218, whatever it is, should be subtracted from the amount I was given today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, they'll check into that. But you don't see the 700 or?
No, I do not see the 700. I see that there was a removal of legal fees of $214 on November 12th. Is that what you're talking about, maybe?
No, I made a payment from my debit card onto the Rent Cafe app yesterday for $700. I can.
No, she's talking about the 218 or whatever you were talking about that they said they were going to take off.
It's for me. It shows it's from October.
So I don't see that.
You don't see it? Okay.
The only thing I do see is I do see a removal of legal fees for $214, which is not the amount of legal fees. I'm wondering if that's what that is.
That's probably what that is.
Yeah. So it looks like that's already applied.
Okay.
So if the 700 clicks in, you're going to pay another $3. That's going to get you into about the $2,300 range, and then the $1,300 on the 26th. You can get that paid as early in the day as possible. That would be great.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll try to figure out how to deal with about the 1,000 or 1,100 that's left. But you'll be in relatively good shape. Sounds to me.
Okay.
All right. All right. That made her smile to hear the judge say that. I need to, you know what I need to get meaner. I need to say something really like that scares people. No? You don't want me to do that? Nah. Okay, never mind. All right. Ms. Branch, I'm going to adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at 12 noon.
And that is in person?
That is an in-person hearing.
Okay.
Okay. And then we'll see where we are. Feel free to contact the attorney's office, see if something can be worked out in terms of a conditional order or something like that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you, Your Honor. Happy holidays.
And to you.
Thank
you.
Your Honor, this is an action for termination of tenancy following a notice to quit for damage, health hazard to property, a demand for possession. Plaintiff is requesting entry of a judgment for possession by default.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. No redemption amount. Writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. The claim in the case was $1,420.13.
Yes.
How are you going to get that paid, Mr. Watson?
I had talked to beginning of this month. I had talked with the account manager, Miss Sydney Schroeder, indicating that I was going to be late with this agreement. She told me that I had until the 31st to pay the full amount. On my packet here, I only see that I owe $1,208.
Right. So
And yes, sir.
That's going to be. Hang on a quick second. So you must have paid something, but you were at $1,200. The rest of that's going to be probably court costs that are in there.
Okay.
Okay.
I will have to. I was planning on paying the $1,200 on the 31st. I did not realize that there was an additional fees on that, Your Honor.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. You need to contact you can apply for assistance, but you need to contact the attorney's office, see if you can work something out so that you have payment by the end of the month on this. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
And I'll adjourn this out. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Your Honor. You said to work out, to call the attorney?
Yes. Their number is on your paperwork.
Okay. Okay. And just get with them and just work out a payment plan or whatnot.
Yeah, and see if you can work something out.
Okay.
Okay.
All
and
right.
even if you can work something out, you'll need to still be here on the 26th, 2025 at noon. Come down to the courthouse so we can formalize any agreement or try to hash out how we're going to get this done. Okay.
Okay. I thought this was the purpose of taking care of the responsibilities. Why? If I can ask a question, why do I need to come in on the 26th if I'm telling you that I can pay on the 31st?
Because you're entitled to an adjournment of the 1 week. So you got to come in on that date, and I have to formalize whatever it is that either the parties have agreed to or whatever. Okay. There's the extra hearing that is granted basically to tenants to give them additional time to get everything done.
Okay.
That's why you have to come in.
Okay, I was just curious because I heard everybody else tell you I'm gonna pay here, and they don't have to come in. So I was just a little bit curious.
Well, no, if they're paying everything up before that date, then they won't have to come in before the 26th. But you're saying you're gonna need to the end of the month to do it. That's different.
Well, if I'd have known if I had to get more, if I had to come in or pay that earlier than that, then I would have. Yet, as stated before, I talked with the account manager, and I just thought that.
No, you did, Mr. Watson.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watson, you are not being punished.
Yes,
it's just that that's the way the process works. If
yes,
you could
sir.
get it paid by the 26th, I wouldn't need to see it. But
yes, sir.
Since it's on the 26th, you need to come down here or whatever. But it sounds to me like you've already kind of worked everything out and done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It makes me think when I'm looking at him though, has he done something he doesn't want to come down and be right near me? No, I'm just messing with you. He's right around the corner. I don't know, I don't know. There's gotta be some reason he don't want to come down here.
No, there's no reason, sir. I'll come down to see you, sir.
All right. We'll see you on the 26th, Mr. Watson. And thanks for working out, making sure that we could hear you, and you have a great holiday, sir.
You as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Lambrecht.
Okay. And what is plaintiff's claim pay on this?
Right now, I have rent to retain at $28.43 cost of $175 for a redemptive total of $3,018.48. And it looks like there wasn't a dispute as to the amount owed at the previous hearing either.
I'm sorry, what?
It doesn't look like he was disputing the amount owed at the last hearing, Judge.
Right, I don't think he was. I don't have a note of that anyway. All right, where are you, sir, on this?
At the current moment, Judge, I am not able to make that payment. I'm currently working. Today is my last day of work. My job is seasonal, and therefore I'm effectively laid off. And so I'm looking for another. So I cannot give you a guaranteed date of when I could make this payment.
All right.
I will be working towards it, of course.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a judgment for possession, finding no tribal issue after hearing. So you say you do seasonal work, so today's your last day.
At the current position, yes.
All right. Does that restart again, or does
it will restart probably late February, early March of next year. So I'll have to find another job in the meantime.
Something else to do?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to do the same thing here. It's extended out a little bit. I just can't go that far. So I'm going to grant that judgment for that amount, the $3,018.48, and I'll make the writ date January 5th.
Understood.
All right. So you'll have to till January 5th to try to get this cleared up. Have you gone to Hawk at all?
Hawk?
The way you looked at me, you probably have not, right?
Is that part of the resources that was in the summons papers?
Yes.
I may have called them. I did call a number.
The 961-1999.
This was a few days ago, and there were a few different places that I called, so I apologize. If not, then
yeah, I would try to call them, try to call Hawk. You're right at that. They will do 3,000. Okay. That will assist up to 3,000. Right now, because you're in that weird circumstance where if you're not employed, where they can see, because the part of the issue is sustainability. So they're willing to cover the gap, but you've got to show that you could sustain being in the unit. So if you were to get employed where your employment would show that you can pay for the apartment, they may very well help you out.
I'm surprised there wasn't mention of a larger issue being the continued of I mean, the reason I understand I was sent here is because of frequent late payments. There were demand letters every month, but I made the payments, and so they had dismissed the cases. I was under the impression that
the reason that you were the notice to quit or demand for possession was because you had not paid your rent. It's not a termination because of late payments.
Well, correct, but just only November and December should be delinquent. Otherwise, the other amounts should be paid off. They were paid.
How much is your monthly rent?
My monthly rent is base pay of $1,130. However, by the time I can make the payments, because I am on a biweekly pay schedule, there are other fees incurred.
Right.
And it raises the cost quite a bit. So it eventually comes out to around $1,500 to $1,700.
I have from the complaint that was filed in November that you had paid through the end of September. So that at the time that was filed, you would owe effectively for October, November, and now December. So we're really 3 months.
That would make sense if I'm paying for the month forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
So I will grant them that judgment with a writ to issue the 5th. All right. And I suggest again that you contact SOS or Hawk. Did you need that number? I'm going to give it to you.
Yes, but Hawk I understand is an acronym.
Yes,
it's
housing access for Washtenaw County.
Okay.
And that is the number is area code 734-961-1999.
1999. Okay.
Okay. Give them a call. Let them know the circumstance that you're in. you'll be in better shape. Like I said, I think your issue is going to be the sustainability piece.
Okay.
Okay. All
And
right.
so, if I'm not able to make that, what is my next step? Who can I contact to make arrangements? Considering
You would have to contact your landlord if they're willing to do something. But they don't have to.
Okay.
Okay. And like I said, I've given you additional time to try to get yourself employed, do what you can to try to maintain your home. But it could be a situation that come to the 5th of January, you're really operating on borrowed time between getting out of there and paying everything.
Understood.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Legends of Rosewood Village versus Alyssa Worley.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mark Wasbury for plaintiff.
Alyssa Worley? Not checked in at all. Would you like to take a default, sir?
Yes, Judge.
All right. If you'd raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do, Judge.
All right. Go ahead.
Based on the books and records of Legends Rosewood, the rent to retain possession is $3,796. Court costs are $166.50 for a total of $3,962.50. I did speak with Ms. Worley on the phone. She said she had another obligation, but she would have this paid by the 29th. And I said, we have to give her till the 29th anyway. So
that's correct. All right. Judgment to the plaintiff. That's by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Have a good holiday.
You do the same, Mr. Westbrook.
Thank you.
Maple Heights versus Jeffrey Payant.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Alex Wilson appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
There they are. Jeffrey Payant?
Yes.
Okay, there you are. All right. All right, where are we on this case?
There was a default judgment entered in November. There was a motion to set aside. Defendant failed to appear. Writ was issued, and then another motion was filed.
And another motion. Okay, and I know why. I know why we did that. All right. So after our last hearing where I denied the motion, counsel, on December 5th, on December 10th, an additional amount was placed into escrow of $1,840. I don't know if you're aware of this or not.
I am not.
Okay, that brought the amount in escrow to $2,660, which, while not paying December, does indeed satisfy the judgment.
Okay.
All right. So I have signed the writ. What I'm going to do is, are you guys going to get December in?
Yes. Yes.
When are you going to do that?
Can you pay it today?
Yeah, I could pay it today.
December?
Yes.
All right. Here's what I want you to do, and then I'm going to quash the writ. The judgment's been satisfied. Defendant to pay December rent today. And then the court will release escrow to the plaintiff. So what that will do, folks, is you get December paid directly to the landlord. Don't pay that to the court, okay?
Okay.
Pay that to your landlord. And then we'll release this escrow amount. Then you guys are good.
Question.
Oh boy.
So there's not like
I knew that was going to happen. Because
No,
Mr.
it's
Payne was talking, he was missing something, and she's just being quiet. But I should have just started talking with her. Go ahead, Jane.
there's not like a rent tenant portal, so they only take money orders. So even if we put it in the Dropbox today with today's date, will that still be honored?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling them they have to take your money. Put it in the Dropbox.
Okay.
Just get that there so that the December rent is paid.
Okay.
We'll send this, that will pay your back balance. Then you guys are good, and then you can figure out what you're gonna do in the new year. How's that sound?
Thank you so much, Judge.
All right, and I'm just taking no action on this, but I'm quashing the grid actually, because we have him. All right, thank you, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right, you do the same. Everybody have a blessed holiday, please. Thank you. And you need to listen more to her. You hear me? No, you don't. No, you don't. Because when I called the case, you just started talking. You should have let her talk. And then, anyway, you know, and then he was trying to pretend like he was in charge. Right? So she actually was the one that said, he starts talking. I'm not listening because I know he don't know nothing. And then she says, can we pay it today? And he goes, yeah.
I'm learning, Judge. I'm learning.
You're learning?
Yes.
You better learn quick, man.
Believe me, I have no choice in the matter. I have to.
Right. Okay. As long as you begin to understand. Okay. You guys take care of each other, please. Have a great
Happy
holiday.
holidays.
Thank you, Judge. And
All
happy
right.
holiday.
Take care. Bye-bye. Tam Kisham versus Ratif Farah. So hold it. See, this is what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk to him. No, I don't. I want to talk to his mom. Oh. No.
Fortunately, she works at a senior home, and she works at a senior home, so she wasn't able to get off work.
She wasn't able to get out. Okay. All right.
It was my fault. I don't think I let her know that in advance that today we had to be here. But
see, it was nice of you to confess. That is his fault.
It was, but the good part about today, we're just coming here to dismiss it.
Great. Okay, because did you guys get it all worked out, or?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Fantastic, fantastic. And so I'm going to dismiss the case. I am so glad to hear that, because when you and your mom were here, you trying to work with.
Yeah, and it ended up working out. So
it worked out. Fantastic. All right.
Take care of yourself. Appreciate you guys.
Yep. Yep. Northville Crossing versus Jason Bradley.
Lakeisha Crawford.
All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case at this point?
With costs, Your Honor, $996.06.
996?
That's correct.
You made, actually, they made a huge payment around the 15 from the last time. Okay.
Yes.
How are we going to get this balance, Jane?
Okay. I called Hawk the same day and was denied. We did file for a SCR. We're waiting on that, and we do have other funds, so we should have it paid relatively quick.
Pardon?
We should have it paid relatively quick.
Okay, what is?
Not like today, but I'm trying to see what DHS is going to say.
How many people are in your house?
6.
6?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And if DHS grants it to you, that actually pays off the entire balance, because with 6 people, you can get $1,040 if they grant that all to you.
Okay.
When did they say when they would answer? Is this a second? This is actually the second. So she would get another one in the new. Okay. And I think you filed that. Yeah, she didn't file it, but you made a huge payment. You know what I'm gonna do? If I adjourn this out 1 week, do you think you could either get it paid or get SCR? Or if FCR doesn't pay it, Would you be able to pay it in a week or?
I will try my best.
Well,
I know.
no, it's okay. Tell me what you think you can do. I mean, because you took a big chunk out of this, and there are two ways I can do this. I could give them a judgment and just give you to the end of the month to get this done.
Okay.
Okay, I can do it that way. Or if you think you'll have it in a week, we can avoid, I put it out over their objection to let you get it paid.
Okay.
Which is going to be better for you.
If you give me to the end of the month, then I know I'll have
Pardon?
it.
To the end of the month?
Yes.
Okay.
I know for a fact I'll have it in.
Then here's what I'll do. I'm going to grant a judgment to the plaintiff, finding no triable issue. All right. And that was $9.96. What was the change on that?
6 cents, Your Honor.
Okay, and 6 cents. Grant a judgment for that amount. You would normally have until the 29th. I'm going to give you basically an extra day. Well, you know, go to January 2nd. It's not going to include your January rent.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm going to give that to you because you made, like I said, you made a large payment. Writ to issue January 2nd or thereafter. That work for you, you think?
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. All right, thank you. Have a great holiday.
You as well.
Your Honor,
Thank
did you want that as a hearing judgment to Mr. Bradley or by default?
Yes, hearing.
Okay.
Just, we can do hearing as to both parties. Okay, thank you. Because I think actually he was here the last. Arbor
I
Woods.
think he was.
Arbor Woods versus Michelle Young. Hello. Your name?
Michelle Young.
All right. And what's her current balance?
With cost, Your Honor, $1,842.47.
Okay, ma'am. How are we going to get this paid?
So I contacted them, and Overrules. They said I can make a payment arrangement, but after I come here, I told them that I can pay $100 next week, a day after Christmas. They said, okay. And I said, after that, I can pay $200 every 2 weeks because I just started my nursing job. They cut my hours. So they said, as soon as I come here, for you to send a plaintiff to their lawyer or something, and they agree with my payment.
To do what now?
Make a payment arrangement with them. They said contact the.
Okay. Do you know anything about that, Ms. Dornbush?
I do not, Your Honor, and based off of those terms, that's not typically the type of terms my client would approve, as that would be quite a long, drawn-out payment arrangement.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'll give my client a call if the court wants to pass on this matter.
Yeah. What, do you know who you spoke to?
It was a young lady that answered the phone at Ann Arbor Woods, and I talked to her and I told her I was coming to court and I would like to make a payment arrangement. They told me to wait till I come here and for you to send them some papers or something about my payment arrangement that I want to make.
Okay.
She could call and ask them, but I
got
talked
it.
to them on the phone.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass it. Have a seat, and then I'm going to get through sort of the rest of these, and then they're going to give a call over the seat. Yep. Okay? Thank you. Arbor Woods versus Tyrone Miller.
I'm here, Your Honor. Tyrone Miller here.
All right, there you are.
And the total with court costs, Your Honor, is $1,950.82.
Okay. Last time we were here, Mr. Miller, you told me you were going to pay $823, and then the balance would be paid up today.
Yes, sir. I had to pay some other bills, my DTE bills, and do my little Christmas stuff, but I can have it all paid by next Friday on my payday.
Okay, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, since the payments weren't made, I'm gonna find no triable issue. I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession in the amount of $19.50.82. You need to pay that by the 29th.
Yes,
okay?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good holiday.
You too, sir.
Arbor Woods versus Brittany LaFloria. Hello.
Hi.
Your name?
Brittany LaFloria.
Okay. Probably haven't. Have you seen, and I'm gonna bet you have not.
I haven't, Your Honor. I know you're referring to the answer that was filed today. My understanding, Your Honor, is that it was due yesterday. But nonetheless, no, we have not seen it.
Well, this is very strange.
No, it was filed yesterday. I was here yesterday.
Yeah, I have two copies. One that's timestamped by the court yesterday,
Mhm.
and then I have another one for whatever reason that's
It's just a
timestamped
copy.
today. What happened?
No, it was just a copy. I wanted to make sure that you guys had it. 'Cause it
Oh,
wasn't in
okay,
the
so you
system
filed this
online,
yesterday,
so-
and then you brought another one in just to make sure. Okay, got it.
But it was filed yesterday.
She did. That's
All
what
right,
it indicates
The
here.
Register of Actions, Your Honor, did indicate today. That's why I assumed it was today.
Okay. There are a lot of attachments on this. Did you send a copy to plaintiff's counsel? To the landlord's attorney's office?
I didn't send it to them. I did send the answer copy to the leasing office. But everything that
Okay.
like the pictures and all of it, they have all of that already. As far as like the issues that's going on in the unit.
Well, no, I hear what you're saying, but they don't have it in the form that you filed this. So you filed an answer and then you attached all of these things like the email, the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, I see what you're saying. All right. Let me do this. I'm going to, so that we can keep it on track, because my next date after next week is the 9th, but I'm going to just adjourn this out 1 week. And if we could, so I'll adjourn this out to December 26th, 2025 at 3 p.m. If we could, so what I'm gonna do, ma'am, is, because whenever you give something to the court, you've got to give basically the identical thing to
To their
the
lawyer.
others. Right. So,
I don't need that. I have copies already.
pardon? No, but the court's got to have a copy of what you found.
Oh,
You say, all right, so here's what I'm gonna do. And the pictures may not come out right. I'm gonna have my staff copy that, scan it, and send it over to plaintiff's counsel.
Okay.
So that then we can figure out what to do on this, okay?
Okay.
A
And
couple
we'll see you-
things, Your Honor, before the court
Yes.
passes on this matter. This case may be moot, Your Honor. A non-renewal notice was issued to Ms. LaFloria in August. It expired on November 30th, and so her lease has ended, and Arbor Woods does intend to move forward with the non-renewal. And any judgment that we seek in this case would only seek balances due through November 30th to preserve that notice. That's issue number one. Next is, in the last court case with Ms. LaFloria, Your Honor, she had notified our office that she was vacating. So I'm not really sure what the status of that is. Additionally, Your Honor, my client has become aware that Ms. LaFloria currently has a criminal case against her with jury selection scheduled for February over a domestic violence incident. And if that incident occurred on Arbor Woods property, then it would also be a violation of the lease agreement and grounds for termination of her tenancy, even aside from the non-renewal. So I'm awaiting a copy of the police report with respect to that incident as well. And that's before Judge Barr, Your Honor.
Before Judge Barr.
Yes, and I've got the case number if Your Honor needs it.
Well, yeah.
It's not really an issue for this case, Your Honor. I'm just making the court aware that there would be potentially other cases filed for possession, making this case for non-payment really a moot issue.
And this property is in the city of Ipsy.
It is, Your Honor, yes.
When
Okay, so that's.
Well, when it came to my renewal, my understanding was that the reason why I wasn't allowed to get my renewal was because the November rent was not paid. That's what was told to me.
Okay.
Not
so
that I wasn't allowed to get the renewal. That's why.
And Your
Right,
Honor, it is
but-
in fact the other issue. The notice was issued in August, so it's not about the November rent.
Right. So I'm not really here to deal with that per se. Okay. In this case, it's just plaintiff is really preserving their rights to other proceedings that may be coming forth regarding. Okay. And in particular, the have you received notice of a criminal proceeding against you?
Yes, but
Okay, I don't want to.
okay.
Want you to
Yeah, I
say
can't say
about
too
it.
much on that, but
Right, I don't want you to say anything about it. I just need you to understand that if, and I don't know, and looking at everything, it were to have occurred and what council's indicating on their property, that potentially could be a violation of your lease and lead to termination of your tenancy. Okay.
okay.
And it's probably important to point out to you that in making a determination as to where it occurred and what occurred, there are going to be different standards of proof.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Theoretically, you could be found not guilty on the criminal case, yet still the proofs be sufficient that at least violation occurred and you could be evicted on that. Okay, just so that you're aware. Again, I'm not making a finding or anything.
Yep. No, I get it.
Okay, understood?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see you next.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. What? Didn't I already give you a chance to talk? And then you told us everything and then held up the proceeding? These other people want to go home. Okay, come on. Yeah, you got to come up here. I can only hear, but so far. This is Miss Dornbush. This is Miss Young that I think wants to say something. Yeah, go ahead.
I failed to mention that I do own I own the property, so that's why they was making that agreement with me. I own the.
Oh, okay, I get it. Okay. I'm sure that's it. Thank you. Arbor Woods versus Felicia Hugan and Reginald Hugan. Well, here he is.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. State your name.
Reginald Hugan.
All right. And how much is owing now?
With cost, Your Honor, $2,028.27.
All right. Mr. Hugan, how are we going to get this paid?
I'll be having it paid by my next payday, that's 26th, so that's coming up in the 26th. So probably have it in the office by the 29th.
So you can get it all paid by the 29th, you think?
Yes, because Hawk, they didn't do nothing.
Hawk did not help you.
Yeah, no.
But so you're waiting on your next payday, which is next Friday.
Correct.
And then you'll have it by the 29th.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grant them a judgment finding no tribal issue after a hearing for that total amount of the $2,028.27. And in this, somehow or another, you always come through. Your normal writ date would be the 29th, but I'm going to give them to the 30th.
Thank you, sir.
That Tuesday to get it paid. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right. You take care. Yes, have a great holiday, Mr. Dugan, and please, behalf of the court, give my best regards to your wife.
Thank you.
Arbor Woods versus Shanton Campbell. Shanton Campbell and what was it? Diane Taylor. Campbell, Taylor, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent retained of $1,364.47. Costs are $242 for a total due of $1,606.47. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Tanisha Booker.
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Booker's here. And what do we have owing at this point?
With costs, Your Honor, $1,837.07.
What was the cents? I'm sorry.
7 cents, Your Honor.
7 cents. Okay. You made the payment you told me you were gonna make. I had to give you credit. Okay. All right. How are you gonna get the rest of this done?
I did borrow some money from my dad and then I get paid on the 26th. So right after Christmas, hopefully I can get it paid.
You can get everything done?
hmm
So if I did something and gave you to the end of the month, do you think you can get it done?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grant plaintiff a judgment finding no tribal issue after a hearing for the 183707. Okay. And like with Mr. Hugan, I'm just gonna give you till the 30th to get that paid. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
You
Thank
take
you. I
care.
appreciate it.
Not a problem. You have a blessed holiday. Okay.
You too.
Thank you. Arbor Woods versus Tanya Anthony and Jermaine Napier. Hello, what's your name?
Tanya Anthony.
Okay. And how much is owing on this?
With court costs, Your Honor, $395.29.
$95.29. You made a payment, right?
No, there weren't payments, Your Honor. There were some credits to the account by
There-
my client.
Okay, that's right. I remember now. There needed to be credit.
Yes, but I still feel like it's incorrect. So
What part of it is incorrect now?
me being here for like, she said it was like October, they put on the late fee, the court fees and fines. So if you go back into my ledger.
Hold on a second. You got to slow down.
I'm sorry.
You say in October,
Yes,
there were late fees. That's a dispute for you?
that's what I was told last week on Zoom when we talked, when the lawyer said.
Yeah, I remember. I think, yeah, okay. I
Okay.
kind of remember that.
So if you go back in August, I paid my rent on the 5th. And on the 13th of August, I paid an additional $217 on top of what I already had paid. On the 21st, they gave me a $30 late fee. But from what I'm reading in my ledger.
Hold on a second. So I just want to make sure I have it right,
Okay.
because I think she's looking at your ledger. I don't
Okay.
have it in front.
Okay,
You're saying in August, you paid your rent on the 5th,
yes,
then 13th,
an
thereabout.
additional
You paid
$217.
217. So let me ask you this. Let's just stop there. When you paid your rent on the 5th, when you paid the 217, did that give you a $217 credit?
It should have, but it didn't.
But it didn't. Because you were okay, let me ask you this. Coming in or out of July, I guess,
Okay.
into August, were you at zero?
I probably wasn't at zero. It might have been like under $20 or $30.
Okay, so that's gonna be part of the problem.
And it wasn't
think.
that balance, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, part of the issue here is that there were balances that my client intended, I believe, to file suit on in July and in October. Court costs were assessed for those months, and for some reason, cases were not filed. So those court costs were credited to the ledger today. One set of court costs was for $240, another set was for $242. And in looking at the ledger balance after July, a number of credits were given to Ms. Anthony on July 31st, leaving a $400.32 balance. Part of
On
that
July 31st?
That's correct. Part of that balance, Your Honor, was $240 in court costs that were credited today. So even if you took those off at that time, when Ms. Anthony made her payment on August 5th of $850, it would have left a balance of $200 and something. And so late fees would have been accrued regardless.
Right. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. But you show the payment she's talking about of the what would you say?
$217 on the
217. She said about on the 13th.
It was
Yes,
the 13th.
Your Honor. And taking that into account, taking a look at that. Oh, and I've got this balance of, bear with me just a moment, Your Honor, while I do some math. 402.63 minus 240 That would have left a balance of 162.63 due and owing. So when Miss Anthony made her payment of 217, yes, she would have had a slight credit going into August, but there was no payment in August.
Going into August or going into September?
I'm so sorry, Your Honor, going into September.
Okay.
And then the September payment was made on September 15th, so late fees were charged accordingly. The October payment was made on October 14th, so late fees were charged accordingly. The November payment was made on November 10th. And Your Honor, I can't even verify without doing math whether or not the payments were made were for the full amount, but even so, they were made late. So late fees were charged.
Okay, but I think what her point here is, I don't think she's disputing that there may have been those late payments in those other months.
Okay.
Are you?
I'm not agreeing with that.
You're
Because
saying that the payments
I'm
were made
saying-
on time?
No, I know some of them were not paid on time, but
Okay.
for, like she said, they just today apparently credited me
For the court
other,
costs
the other
that weren't
ones
filed.
from the previous month.
Right.
Right, I get that. So like she said, that would have brought me down to 169 going into August, correct?
Going into
August, I was
September.
owing.
September.
Going into September. Okay.
Yes, Your
But
Honor. So for that
like-
reason, I can waive the $30 late fee that got charged in August because it wouldn't have been charged but for those late fees.
The $30?
Yep, that's based off of what I'm seeing on this ledger, that would be the only other amount that would need to be credited would be that $30, and I can agree to that.
Can I reach into my pocket and grab my little
Yeah.
information? Because I had to write it down because it was really confusing to me, especially when I went back in there and I saw like a whole bunch of different credits. So on August 1st, I would have to paid $842.31. That's my water, my sewer, and my
I understand.
607. I paid $850 on the 5th.
I don't think there's any dispute about that.
No, I'm about to get there. So then when I paid the $850 on the 5th of August, I additionally paid $217 on the 13th.
I heard you, and
Okay.
we just went through that.
Okay, so this is another issue that I'm having with Arbor Woods. If you want to look at this. So I come in, this is a payment that I made on December 5th in the office. They signed it for December 5th,
Hang on a second.
but then they gave me a late fee.
Hold on a moment before we get into December. Coming out of August. Ms. Dornbush, how much do you say she owes?
Coming out of August, she would have had a credit of 402.63 minus 240. So she had, after her first August payment, Your Honor, she had a balance due of 162.63. She then paid 217. So she had a credit of $54.34 going into, I'm sorry, Your Honor, it would be $44.37 going into September.
44.37. Got it.
Going into September. Yep.
Going into September.
And that's taking into account the court costs credit that was given today. So that number is not going to show on the ledger retroactively. It was taken off of the balance today.
It was taken off today. Got it. I got that.
Okay.
Okay, so then come, and might as well just go through this. When did you make your September payment?
I made that on the 8th, but I also included the $55 because I knew I was going to be late, and I paid $862.
$862 in September.
No, that was the total, was $862. On the 13th, I paid $925 of September.
Hold on a second. September comes around, you pay your rent. How much did you pay?
In September?
Yes.
$925.
On what date?
The 13th.
$925 on the 13th. Okay. And then October, did you pay that?
I did.
Okay, what date did you pay that?
I paid that on the 14th.
And how much did you pay?
$800.
$800. And then that's September, October, and then November.
I paid on time.
You paid, that one was paid on the 5th?
Yes.
Okay. And then December, you're saying you paid on the 5th.
Correct.
All right, but it may show up at a different point, but you're saying you paid it on 5th. I may look
Okay.
at that in a moment, but I don't know that it's gonna be necessary.
Okay.
So what I see is gonna happen here
Mhm.
is you may have covered, I can't tell without looking at the actual ledger. Going into September, when you paid that 925, you may have paid along with your credit, if it would have come forth, you may have paid that up, but you would still, it seemed to me, accumulate late fees.
I
When
did.
you get into the next month, particularly.
Right.
October.
But I also included that in the payment that I made.
In September.
Yes.
How much did you owe in October?
In October, 690. The 697 plus the $55, probably like $820 maybe, but I
Okay.
paid 800.
And that's gonna be the problem.
Right.
If the whole balance isn't paid, you're gonna accumulate late fees. And so, and just follow me here. And it sometimes gets to be a problem. So you have that balance occur, you catch those late fees, let's say you're catching them in October. When you get to November, even though you're paying on time, you may be paying that exact amount that you owe for November. But that 20, let's say, is still writing, which is going to accumulate late fees.
Okay.
And then when you get down into December, if that hasn't been taken care of, the same thing is going to happen.
Okay, so you're saying like when I paid on December and I paid them the amount that I owed
For December. Right.
When I go onto the ledger and I'm looking at it, if I paid them on the 5th in office and got the signature, then 3-4 days later, they give me a $55 late fee for December. I'm confused because they give me.
But they would have given you the late fee. Okay, and here's what you have to understand. I tell tenants this all the time. It's not because of what you paid that month. It's because you're carrying that $20, and I'm not saying that's correct because I don't have it right in front of me, but even by what you're saying, when you were short in October, if you're carrying that balance forward, you're going to continue to accumulate late fees.
I get that. But what I'm saying is I've been paying over. In August, I paid $200 over. In September, I paid an extra $100 and something over. And so
when in September did you pay? Because you gave me 800 in September.
I paid 925.
You paid 925, yeah. Right. But then when you got, but you still hadn't cleared the balance. Even if they take out the court costs, they still haven't cleared the balance.
But it was clear. That's what I'm saying. If I paid this and this on this day, when I paid the extra in September, going in with a positive credit, and then I'm paying the balance off of that, there should have never been a late, like the $30 late fee. That's what I'm understanding. That's what I'm saying. I'm paying more every month, and it's like I'm still getting $30 late fees, $55 late fees when I'm paying this.
I'm not going to be able to resolve this because you're not, quite frankly, I don't think you're listening to what I'm telling you, but that's okay. I'm going to set this for a non-jury trial for January 6th, 2026 at 9 a.m. That's an in-person proceeding. We'll just have a trial on it. Everybody bring what they do. I'll do my math, and everybody will be stuck.
Okay.
Court calls the case of the people of Arbor Woods versus Linda Lockhart. And Jeannie Caldwell and Larry Lockhart. Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Linda Lockhart.
All right.
I'm Danielle Adams. I'm her daughter-in-law.
She helps me with my bills. That's why she's here.
I know. You guys have been here before. I got it. All right. Okay, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, this
like-
is defendant's motion.
Motion. All right. Yes, go ahead.
I would like, with the other lady, I wanted to see if I could make payments till it's paid off, till the back's paid off. Added to our monthly rent.
Your Honor, if I may just refresh the court's memory. So there was a hearing judgment entered on November 21st for $2,265.43, with that balance to be paid on or before December 7th. Since then, obviously, the December rent has come due, and the current balance is $3,273.12. I guess I'm confused on why there's a motion to set aside a default judgment when there isn't a default judgment, number one. But also, there are no grounds stated whatsoever in the motion that would support a good legal reason for why the judgment should be set aside, especially after Your Honor already found there was no triable issue of fact. I have no authority to do a payment arrangement, Your Honor.
Right. How much is your monthly rent?
Well, without water and sewer is $760.
Without those other charges, it's how much?
$761.
Okay, so outside of the fact that of the type of judgment it is, and that's an issue of the people that are accepting it, not understanding the distinction between the judgments. You didn't even pay a full month of rent into escrow.
I paid what I had. That's all I had.
All right. Okay, ma'am, let me ask you this. If you don't get a payment plan, how are you gonna come up with this money?
My husband is getting a Christmas bonus and we plan to pay it by the 7th, the back due by the 7th. My husband's getting his Christmas bonus and I'm taking out a loan with a family member to pay the rest off by the 7th. It's just she gets, it's a trust her late husband set up for her, and she doesn't have the money until January 1st when the next month's payment comes.
Okay, you kind of lost me there a little bit.
So
you get a payment, ma'am, you get a payment from a trust that your husband.
No, my grandmother gets a trust from her late husband.
Got it.
She is going to give me a loan from that.
Oh,
January.
I see. So that's where the loan
Yes.
is coming from. And then you said your husband is doing what?
He's getting his Christmas bonus next week. We were going to use that towards.
Okay, so when does the Christmas bonus happen?
It should happen, his last day before Christmas is the 24th, so he should be getting it the 24th.
Okay, so let me ask you this. On the 26th, how much can she pay? How much can be paid?
We can pay at least 800 on the 26th, and then the rest would be paid in January.
Okay.
Your Honor, just so I can clarify.
Here's why that's not, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, Your Honor, I need to interrupt. When she says the rest, does she mean the rest that's due under the judgment or the rest that's due under the tenancy? Because at that point, December and January would be included.
Yeah, it would be both. It would be the past due December, and then we would be paying January.
On the
7th.
On the 7th. Okay.
I don't have authority to approve that, Your Honor, unfortunately.
I know you can't do that. And let me ask you this. You're gonna get 800 next week,
Mhm.
Friday. Do you have any other funds?
Not currently, no.
I only get paid once a month on disability on the 3rd.
Oh, that's right. You're on. How much do you get on disability?
988.
And when's your next disability check?
The 3rd.
Well, it'd be the 2nd because it's a Saturday, so it'd be 2nd.
So it's not until next month.
Yes.
Here's, did we already issue the rent? No. All right, I'm gonna do this over plaintiff's objection, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna deny your motion. I'm gonna release the $500 in escrow to plaintiff. Defendant, you're to pay $800 on or before December 26, 2025. If not paid, the writ will issue.
Okay.
If that is paid, the writ may not be issued until January 7th, 2026. But defendant must pay all amounts currently due, which, so that we're clear, that means December and January, which were really not included in this judgment. December and January would also have to be paid. If those aren't paid by the 7th, they can issue the writ.
Okay. Okay.
And then I'm not hearing any other motion. They will just have that remedy because I'm doing something extraordinary here, but I realize you only get that one check a month. I get it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is clearly over the objection of plaintiff, but I'm going to do it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
Yeah, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
Bless you. Yeah, hold on. No.
Anyone in the house with a 60 or older, they're welcome to call housing for seniors. And if they are, I'd be happy to speak.
That would be me.
You're what? 60 over?
I'm 62, yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Amy, for that. I appreciate it. Court does call the case of Overrules versus Lakeisha Sanders. Oh, there she is.
Hey, Judge Simpson.
Hey.
How are you?
Sanders, what's how you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. How much is owing on this case?
Nothing, Your Honor. Ms. Sanders paid the judgment amount on, I believe, December 16th.
That's not what happened.
Is
That's
that
not what
right?
happened. That's not what happened, Judge Simpson.
What happened then? You think you owe money?
No, I don't owe money, but I don't want no judgment on my name. I put in the motion to set aside the default judgment because I had my court time wrong. But remember, I was in contact
Okay,
with
but hold on a second. You're trying to get all upset during the holidays.
I'm not trying to get upset. I just don't want no judgment on my
see,
name.
no, there you are. I'm trying to say something. She's gonna try to overtalk me. Alan, does that work? No. All right. So listen. So everything is, the judgment is paid, right? Is
Let me
that right,
verify, Your Honor. Let me clarify. So
Okay.
the judgment was for $3,648.66. There were actually three payments that satisfied that balance. There was $224.66 paid on 12/8, $13.64 paid on 12/8, and then the remaining balance due of $21.35 on 12/16. So I misspoke when I said the judgment was paid on 12/16, but the balance was brought to zero on December 16th.
So including her December rent.
Correct.
Which I actually paid on the 5th, like that lady.
I'm not gonna even ask you if you got anything else to say. You're just gonna start talking.
I do have
And then
something to
you're
say
gonna,
to
and you know
citizens.
what's gonna happen? I'm gonna not do what I'm about to do.
Okay.
All right? So you're gonna be quiet right now, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. She's paid it down to 0. Court is gonna use its discretion. I'm gonna set aside the judgment that was entered and dismiss the case.
Thank you, Judge.
You don't have anything to say now, do you?
Merry Christmas.
And to you, man. Court does call the case of Scio Farms versus Donald No. I know he's here.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Donald No.
How are you, sir?
Doing well.
All right. And what is owing on Mr. No's account?
With cost, Your Honor, $2,999.
Okay. That's right, because you were trying to get down so Hawk could help.
Yes, sir. And I spoke with Emily, my case manager, via email, and she replied Tuesday and said that she had received the new ledger and asked for, was putting in a request for financing or funding, I guess.
That was on what day? You
Tuesday of this week.
This past Tuesday? Okay, hold on a moment. You don't mind if Amy gives us some information?
Not at all. Not at all.
No, it's okay. Mr. Donald, no, he's given permission for you to share information for us.
He was approved for $2,999 on the 17th.
He was approved for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Approval and then actual issuing of the check are two different steps, but he's been approved for that amount.
Okay, so this is what we talked about at the meeting. How fast are they gonna issue that check? Do we know?
I don't, but I put an email together with Ms. Dornbush on there and the caseworker, and hopefully that can facilitate some communication, if that's all right.
Will that work for you? And I'll just adjourn this out.
Your Honor, I did not, Miss Amy was breaking up, so I did not hear what she said. If the court could fill me in.
What she said is he's been approved for the balance of $299.99. When asked when the check was going to be written, she of course isn't writing the check, so she doesn't know. But she would put together an email that would include you and the property to keep you informed as to when it goes out, so you can look forward to it.
Patty, you're signed in, correct?
He's here.
I'm here. Patty, are you okay with the adjournment while we get verification of when the payment's gonna come out?
Yes, I am fine with that, and I can go out and pick up the check like I've done before if I need to.
Okay, so let's do the. Mr. No, I'm gonna tell you, he came down here, I don't know at what time. He's been waiting in the courtroom patiently. I don't know what book he's reading, but it must be interesting because he kept reading it, but then got bored and fell asleep. But that's okay. He's been here a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjourn this to my next date after the 26th, because I don't know what's going to happen next week. It's just not, and I don't have the second. So I'm going to go out to January 9th, 2026 at 12 noon. And are you going to be able to pay your January rent?
Yes, I should be able to.
You should be able to pay the January rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have another question. I believe around the 20-something of the month, there's another late fee that gets added automatically. I've learned that, unfortunately, but when is that date and how much is it so I can
try to factor it in?
Yeah.
Or
$30, Your Honor.
30.
And what date does that effective? Does that go on?
It's usually the 21st, but in this case, the 21st is a Sunday, so likely it would hit on the 22nd.
All right.
Right, and it's doubtful that the check will be there, but.
All right,
all right. Will that work for you, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll do it that way. Get the January rent certainly paid by that date.
Yep.
But if everything gets cleared this month, then they really dismiss it in any event, but let's see if we can just get everything done.
All right.
All
Thank
right, Mr. No.
you. Yeah, thank you.
You have a great holidays.
You as well.
Kyle Farms versus Joanna Mugbo. Mugbo. Oh, there she is. Hello, what's your name?
Johanna Mobile.
Okay, and where are we on her case?
Total due with court costs $3,160.95.
All right. How are you gonna get that paid, ma'am?
Over the past couple of days, I kind of made like a fast decision that I'm just ready to like sell my house and move to Texas with my family. And I talked to Patty about that yesterday, and she said that they're not buying any homes until after New Year's. And even then, it should be hard because they're not looking for like single homes, they're looking for like double wide homes. So I'm not really sure, honestly, what I can do.
Your Honor, just in that regard, I mean, she can still list it for sale. The community doesn't have to be the party buying the home, so she could certainly still list the home for sale. The issue that we run into, though, is for her to have the opportunity to list it for sale, the balance would have to be paid for the home to stay on the site.
Yeah. And I am going to get in touch with a realtor, but I don't know. Everything's like in the air right now. I don't know. Maybe yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna do. It's really it. All right. How much time would it take you to at least try to sort that out as to what you're gonna do?
Maybe like 4 days.
Huh?
Like 4 days. 3-4 days.
Hold on.
Sorry.
All right. All right. Listen. The only thing I would do is that I would order that you would have to make a decision on Christmas.
What did you say?
You think I really would order that you'd have to make a decision on Christmas?
I'm not sure.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
All right. I mean, then you know that.
Okay.
So here's what I'm gonna do, young lady. Yeah. I get what you're telling me in terms of everything. So I'm gonna grant them, finding no tribal issue after hearing. I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession for their total amount of the 3160.95. Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna have to find a way to kind of work it out with the landlord about getting yourself out and maybe whatever you're gonna do in that regard. But given all of these circumstances, I understand she's not, I'm not gonna have a writ issue until January 5th, 2026. That's over the plaintiff's objection. All right.
Okay.
So I know you're trying to figure out everything you do and all of the steps. Okay. So if nothing else, I can't solve this problem, but I can at least give you a little bit of time to take a breath.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Be a fit. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Ma'am. Ma'am. No matter how bad it looks or how dark it is, okay? Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Try to have a good holiday.
Thank you.
And be thankful for, a lot of times we just have to be thankful for what we do have and not what we think we don't have.
Yeah.
Right? All right. You take care of yourself.
Have a Merry Christmas.
You too. Kyle Farms versus Maria M. Lotha. She's in Zoom. Where is she? There she is. Hello. Lotha. Oh, she's trying to get unmuted. Nope, I still can't hear you. Can you get it? Okay, keep working. What do you have as her balance?
With costs, Your Honor, $2,432.85.
Okay. We hear you now. You heard what you owe, right?
Yes, it says 2,432 and 85 cents.
$82. $32, I'm sorry, and 85 cents.
Yes.
So, Ms. Imlotha, how are you gonna get that paid?
In fact, they are just waiting for the check. I don't know if they check today's mail because it was sent on December 5 in the morning. So this is coming from Dexter. So I don't know why it's taking too long, but they should receive a check.
Your Honor, it's faith in
Go ahead.
action, Your Honor. Patty let me know that Ms. Imlotha had contacted the management office earlier today asking about a check from Faith in Action. SIO does not have it yet. Patty, do you know, did Faith in Action communicate to you at all about how much Ms. Imlotha was approved for?
No, I've not seen any communication. I was out of the office all last week, but from what I can remember on all my emails, I have not received anything.
Thank you.
Oh. But just so that I'm clear, do you have communication from them that they're going to pay, but we don't
Yes.
know how much?
They contacted me on December 5 in the morning around 10 o'clock saying that they just mailed the check. Because I went there on December 4, I spoke to Miss Shara Armstrong and we went over everything and they said that they were going to apply for me. And then when they applied for me, because on the 5th, I was busy and then I had a doctor's appointment. So I missed her call. When I called back, they told me that they already mailed the check in the morning. But one thing I forgot to ask them how much.
But you don't know how much.
That's the part I don't know. So now the office is closed. I've been calling to find out how much the check was, but it's closed. And they were this week, so I don't know if it's end of the
Are they
week.
closed? But are they closed next week?
I don't know. But today, December 19, they said they will be closed.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And Amy, we don't have any connection or communication with Faith in Action, do we?
I don't.
No. Okay.
But I sent an email to Ms. Shah Armstrong, who is the case manager. I sent her an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Miss Imlotha, did you think when they said the check was being issued that they were going to pay everything, get you caught up through December?
They always, pay for the balance. Once I pay 1,000, they pay the balance.
Okay. All right. Over the objection of plaintiff, I'm going to adjourn it out 1 week. Let's see if Ms. Imlotha, here's what I need you to do. I'm going to adjourn it out to December 26, 2025 at 3 p.m. Okay? Ms. Imlotha, what I need you to do is next week, I need you to contact them, okay, get through to them and tell them that they need to send you something, but they also need to send something to your landlord.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Okay, that they have to, and what the amount is.
Yes.
Okay, because if it might be that everything's not covered and we'll just have to find a way to make that happen, but I want to get you to that point, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Ms. Imlotha, thank you. I know every time I see you, it's a hard situation, But believe it or not, every time I see you, you also bring me joy.
Oh, thank you so much. And
All
God bless
right.
you for that.
And you also, ma'am, and you have a wonderful, happy holiday. Okay, Miss Melissa?
You do the same. God bless.
All right, thank you. And I realize I just did that over the objection of plaintiff. I'll just put that on the record. So that
Your Honor.
Rachel doesn't have to yell at me.
Your Honor, with respect to the matter that we passed on, the manager for Arbor Woods is now in Zoom. If I could go
Okay.
into a
Arbor
breakout
Woods
room.
versus Michelle Young.
Excuse me, Judge, it's Maria Mlotha. You said December 26th at what time?
What time is hers? 3 p.m.
3 p.m.? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much and sorry for interruption.
No, not a problem. Thank you. All right. Miss, I called the Arbor Woods versus Young. We called that one back. Miss Young is here. All right. Where were we on this?
Your Honor,
You
we
had
passed
called.
on it for me to speak with my client. I actually wasn't able to. Patty called Kenya and asked her to join Zoom, so I haven't spoken with her yet. If we could still pass it for a moment, if I could go into a breakout room with Kenya.
Oh
Terrence,
yeah,
that'd be
absolutely. We'll put you into a breakout room. And Patty, you're done. You have a blessed holiday, please.
You as well, Your Honor.
Thanks,
All
Patty.
right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, they're gonna put them in a breakout room. I'll call you up at the beginning of the first case in the next block.
Okay.
They needed an opportunity to talk.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, court's gonna stand in recess. Ron. Where were we on this?
Your Honor, I did have an opportunity to speak with the property manager, Kenya Terrence, and I do think she's still signed into Zoom.
Yes,
to
she
confirm
is.
as well. But yes, Ms. Terrence was present when Ms. Young called the office earlier today and spoke with the office coordinator, and she was simply told that she needed to come to court to discuss her request. I don't have authority to approve a payment arrangement, and Kenya has indicated that they're not agreeable to one. But if the court needs to hear that from Ms. Terrence herself, she is present and could unmute to state the same.
No, that's fine. I think the issue was there was an indication something was said, and we were trying to verify that, and I will take counsel's representation regarding.
So
You
yeah,
understand that, ma'am?
yes, yesterday I called and spoke with someone. They told me to come to court to get that in writing, the payment arrangement that I can make. Then I called her today and she said that she's on Zoom and that she would talk.
Okay, but so that's what you just said is, and maybe you don't understand it, but it's very different than what you said initially. Because what you're saying is, if there was an agreement made in court, that you'd have to come here to get that.
But I offered one to them and they told me they could not take it until I came to court. I talked to someone yesterday and I told her that I could make $100 on the 26th and then $200 or whatever amount every 2 weeks. They told me to come to court to tell you guys that when I spoke
Okay.
to someone yesterday.
That's fine. And so if we want to do it that way, they're rejecting that offer. They don't have the authority to do that.
Okay, so what else can I do if I'm offering to make a payment arrangement? Because I do own the property.
Right, but you also owe $1,842.47.
So I'm trying to make a payment arrangements to pay it because I get.
Okay, but they're not, so, okay, you see, the way it works is under statute, you would, if I give them a judgment, you have 10 days to get it paid.
Can I have more time?
Okay,
Because
well,
I paid every.
just listen. Sometimes I give people additional time to get it done. Like if they make a significant payment to the landlord, I'll give them additional time to get that cleared up. But that's not what I'm hearing here from you.
I get paid every 2 weeks. I don't have a problem with paying. I just have to get paid first to pay.
Okay, but every 2 week payments is not gonna happen. All right, it's just at 200 every 2
So what
weeks.
do they
It's not gonna happen.
What do they
That's gonna take you 9 pays minimum.
No, I'm saying it don't have to be, I'm sorry, Your Honor, it don't have to be 200. It could be more. I'm asking them to tell me what they will agree with.
10 days, Your
Yeah.
Honor. That's what I
Yeah.
can agree to, unfortunately. I can't agree to any payment plan. My client has rejected a payment plan, unfortunately.
Right.
Okay, so how long do they give me to pay the amount that?
How much? Okay. See, you're looking at for them to, you tell me what you think you can do, and it's not gonna be a payment plan, ma'am.
Okay,
How soon, you owe $1,842 and some
Okay.
change. When can you get that?
I will not have that in total. I won't have the whole amount. I will pay what I can on the 26th when I get paid after Christmas. And then I will try my best to pay the remaining balance in January.
In January when? Look, I can't work with those numbers. I can't even try to give you something that I know may make Ms. Dornbush upset. I can't give you anything because you're not telling me what you can do.
I've never been in a situation before.
I know, but you've been in court long enough here today. People tell me what they can do. And I say, you may have to do this or you may have to do that to try to get you to a point that you're at zero so that you can still stay where you are and get yourself back on track. But you're not telling me that.
Okay, so can I tell you what I can do then?
Yes, please.
Right, so for agreement, I could pay $600 in January. On the 7th.
600 when? You just told me a few minutes ago that you were going to have something right after Christmas on the
$100,
26th.
but I said.
Okay, so hold on, stop talking. Let's start there. What on the 26th can you pay?
$100.
Okay. That's all you're going to have to pay on the 26th?
Yes, that is my first check that I'm getting as being a nurse. That's what I was explaining to them when I called the office.
Okay. How many hours a week do you work as a nurse? So you're just starting out. Is that what
At
it
this new
is?
job, yes.
Pardon?
With this new job, yes. I'm picking up hours. It's 32 hours a week, which is 72 hours every 2 weeks.
Which is what?
72 hours.
Okay. Just play along. $100 on the 26th, then you're saying 600 on the 6th. But then so if even if I did that, and I'm excluding January, because January now would be in the mix, that only gets me down to where you're still gonna owe almost $1,200, ma'am.
Okay, so the amount, can you help me come up with an amount will be, because I don't know the amount that will be feasible.
And I don't either. I try to help people be creative on how we're gonna have to do so.
And I'm trying to be creative.
But here's the thing. If I don't have anything to work with, I don't care how creative I get, I can't do anything.
So with $1,000 in January precise, will that bring it up quicker then? So I can
$1,000?
Yes.
On what day?
I would try $1,000 on the 7th in January. And then I could do $1,000 every 2 weeks. I would try
$1,000 every 2 weeks?
Yes, after the 7th.
How much is your monthly rent?
I can get you a figure, Your Honor. Hold on just a moment. I was just pulling up her ledger.
Okay.
Her water sewer charges for January are already on here, Your Honor, so I just need to add in the rent charges.
Yes.
705. Taking into account, Your Honor, the $55 late fee, that would hit her January balance would be $2,657.19.
You cut off at the beginning. Say that again for me.
$26.57.19.
And you're telling me, I just want to hear this, Ms. Young. You're telling me you can pay 1,000 on the 7th, and then you can pay 1,000 on the 21st,
Yes.
because you get paid every 2 weeks,
Yes.
right? Okay, so then the only way this is gonna work is somewhere we gotta come up with $657.
$557, Your Honor, if she pays the $100
Huh?
next week.
I'm sorry?
$557.19 if she pays the $100 on the 26th.
Yeah, but I think that went somewhere. I don't know. Okay, I hear you,
Gotcha.
but I.
So that will be $12.50 every 2 weeks then. With that $12.50 on the 7th and then $12.50 that will pay.
Are you gonna be able to do that?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
So.
Even if I
okay,
have to,
so
yes,
hold
yes,
on.
Your Honor,
Hold on,
yes.
man. Really what you want to do is take this amount, this 2657 and some change. Could you, if I divide that in half, can you do that?
Yes,
All right, but you need to understand that if those payments aren't made, there's an eviction order that's gonna happen.
even if I own the property?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Even if you own it, you still have to. Yes.
Okay.
You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, just give me half of 158. Or 2,658. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. 1329. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to, after hearing in this matter, going to grant a judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of actually the 1842.47. Defendant is to pay $13.29 on January 7th, 2026. If paid, the defendant to pay balance of the judgment plus her January rent and late fees by January 21st, 2026. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. If either of those is not paid, a writ can issue, an order of eviction can issue. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to enter that judgment for that amount. I'm going to do it this way. And as usual, so that again, I don't get yelled at, I'm doing that over the objection of plaintiff, so Mr. Bush doesn't have to scream.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am in a bit of a mood this afternoon, in case Your Honor
What?
hasn't picked up on that, so.
You have a bit of a flu? Is that?
Oh, no, I said
so
I'm in
that's
a bit of a mood this afternoon, so.
Oh. Wow.
I wouldn't ordinarily threaten to yell at Your Honor, but you know, this afternoon, I'm in a mood.
Oh, well, hold on a second. There are times over the years that all of a sudden you just came at me and I didn't know what I did. I mean, all right. All right. Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday. Ms. Dornbush, you have a wonderful holiday.
Thank
and enjoy it with those two little babies. Okay.
Judge. Have a happy
right.
holidays yourself, and I'll probably see you next Friday.
Yes, sir. And ma'am, thank you for coming down. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
All right. Arbor Manor versus Jamaica Jones. Hello. Good afternoon. Your name?
Jamaica Jones.
All right. Where are we on this?
Today's balance is $3,635.
$3,630. Okay, so we had some issues regarding repairs. I don't think paying was an issue. It was trying to get the repairs done. Okay, well, let me ask you something. Did it come out?
So, I do have this. They did,
What is that?
they was trying to do the bathroom, I guess guard the back because it was mold in the bathroom. They said that it was gonna be done on the 11th and to return after 5 p.m. I've been at my mom's house for 8 days. My phone is not working. I have pictures and it's like, it's paper everywhere. They're not done.
You skipped some of that because I didn't
Huh.
follow part of that story. They were gonna come back and do some repairs,
Mhm.
right? You left because they were gonna be doing the repairs. Is that the deal?
Okay, so the first time I came in, they did a little bit of repairs. They fixed the thermostat. That was the
Right.
first repair.
I remember.
They fixed the hole or something, but they really didn't fix the hole. I had pictures, but my phone's not working.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what, since the last time we were here, what's happened, right? And you're telling me you got to a point, you said there are papers on, I don't know what that meant.
So they were fixing the bathroom, I guess the mold in the bathroom. There's mold everywhere, all in the bathroom.
Okay. And is that the papers you're talking? So there was stuff all over
Yeah.
when you came back.
It's kind of hard to explain. I had a picture of it, but my phone is messed up, but I can't use the bathroom.
Well, okay, so that's what I need to know. I mean, when you say there are papers all over, I'm thinking of like my desk. I got papers all over,
No.
but I'm still able to sit there. There's stuff from when things are supposed to be fixed that is just there and it's not complete. That's
basically
right. Okay, that's what I need to know. All right, Mr. Fink, you have any information on?
The information looks like there were no maintenance requests submitted or work orders submitted, but they started on it. Based on what she showed me, they've been knocking off the list, and I can get an update.
Okay, right now, or you want to turn it out a week?
I get an update right now.
Okay.
And Your Honor, is she escrowing time?
She is not, because well, I did order escrow in the amount of 1,100 in court escrow. And she has, let's see, I have 2,100 in escrow.
Good, thank you. And may I ask, Ms. Jones, what she's saying is undone?
The bathroom. That's the main problem I have.
She says there was mold in the bathroom. Was that around the tub area or the whole?
It was everywhere.
She says it was everywhere. She's also indicating, correct me if I'm wrong, that they were there. She was at her mom's, I think she said. They were there. She comes back and there's stuff. She can't use the bathroom area. So they're doing something, but she's.
Anything else?
They just haven't returned to complete what they were doing in the bathroom. It's been 8 days. They said they were going to be done on the 11th.
Can we pass this, Your Honor? Let's see if I get an answer.
No, because they just took the baby. Okay. You want to pass it? Okay. All right. Let me pass it. Let's see if I can get an answer and a clarification on it. All right. And is your phone dead because it's not charged?
It's messed up.
Oh, it's just messed up.
Dropping it.
All right. Okay. All right. Have a seat. We'll see what we can come up with. And
Oh, no, it's just messed up.
I was gonna say we could find a charger or do something, but she just says it's messed up. Cherry Hill Administration versus Dion Ragland. Dion Ragland, not checked in. You may, I don't think I swore you in today. solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, as the court knows, it's an action for non-payment of rent. Mr. Ragland now owes $9,725 in rent. The costs are $175 for a total possession only judgment of $9,900. I'm told he's in the process of moving out. Am I correct? This was not a money judgment case.
It is not.
Thank you.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days.
For the house, but I just got in contact with the social worker at my kid's school on Carpenter. Her name is Miss Emery Ari, and she had contacted Vincent Sancta Paul and Friends Indeed. And as you already know, Hawk said they would help us if we get the balance, when we get the balance down. Sorry. Get the
No, don't apologize. I like the baby a lot better than you.
Oh.
No, I'm just being honest. Go ahead.
And so Hawk said we get the balance down to 3,000, that to 3,000 they would pay that. So like I said, the social worker I spoke with, what's she doing?
No, you're good.
Okay. The social worker said that she contacted Vincent Sancta Paul. She's waiting to get a email back from them and everything. So
okay.
But now our DHS case, everything is good. We got our stamps back, which is awesome. So, and we'll also be able to make sure we cover January will be covered though.
Okay. So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
If I told you guys had to pay something this next week, what can you pay?
I don't get paid this coming week. I get paid the following Tuesday.
It's okay. It's okay.
But we should be hearing, or you should be able to show something regarding St. Vincent de Paul by next week.
Yes, definitely. And also the other place that you I've been hearing people talk about, Faith in Action.
Yes, sir.
I will contact them as well. My wife said that's the one that she forgot about, but I'll contact them as well.
How old is that little one?
That's our youngest baby out of the 7 we have in the house. She's 1. And she's very bossy.
Look at those eyes. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week to the 26th.
Okay.
At least get that information regarding St. Vincent de Paul.
Okay.
You're also going to contact Faith in Action.
Yes, and also Friends Indeed was contacted by our kid's social worker as well from Carpenter Elementary.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see what we can come up with. I'm going to adjourn this to December 26, 2025 at 12 noon.
Okay.
Okay.
And the amount is going to stay at the 4,700, right?
Well, it's 4,784.91.
Yes.
I don't know if another late fee is going to kick in.
There won't be another late fee.
There won't.
There should not be another.
Okay.
All right. Perfect.
So you're basically at 47.85.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. You as well.
Yeah, we can do Ms. Jones if you'd like. So that
Ms. Jones.
you can leave.
Harbor Manor versus Jamaica Jones.
Judge, it sounds, you want my appearance?
Yes, well, no.
James Fink for the plaintiff. Your Honor, it sounds like it's a communication problem. They hired 2 contractors to go in and do work. They did not hear anything from her. They thought the work was done. Their own maintenance people have done work. So management thought that everything had been addressed. I haven't commented on the claim of mold for obvious reasons.
Right.
But as far as, I don't think this is a withholding rent issue.
Meaning,
I'm not saying it's not legit to withhold rent. I'm saying I don't think we're here because she was withholding rent based on the information I had, because my client was not aware of any work requests before the 5th. And now has reported that they had hired vendors and sent their own staff out. So
well, I don't know if that's the case or not. I will just say this regarding Miss Jones, is that from the first day that she came in, she said, I've got it. It's just they haven't done X.
Let's come back next week.
And we've been trying to work this through, and just so I could finish that thought, that was in November. And in November, she put the 2,100, which was a little bit short of the 28 that she owed, but based upon the proration, she put that right into escrow.
Okay.
Without a blink of an eye. She
Then I was
got that in. All right.
mistaken.
December 26, 2025 at 12 noon.
And can we just clarify? I thought I heard her say when we were here earlier that she's not staying there. And really what I want to know is whether we have permission to enter.
To see the bathroom.
Do they have permission to enter to do the work?
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
yeah.
I got the picture of the bathroom if you want to see it. It worked now. Do you
Well,
want to see it?
Not now. I'll tell you what,
Want to get it taken care of if it's not done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You may need to show it to that, but they're gonna go in and do something this week, and let's see.
When's that from?
This was taken on the 18th.
Yesterday.
Yep, this was taken on the 18th. This was.
Can you email that to Serena or Nick at the office? You have an email for the office?
For their office?
Yeah. Can I write on this?
Yeah.
All right. So
I
you're
also
gonna
called them, so they're aware of it, because I called them and let them know that.
I know. I really do think it may be a miscommunication issue, but it's not. Okay. Your December rent, are you gonna get that into court escrow?
Yes.
Okay.
James, and will you send me those pictures?
Yes.
Bless you.
All right. So when will you get December rent into escrow?
I kind of used it for other bills and then Christmas, so I'll be honest.
Christmas.
But I can get December rent on the 26th.
26, you can put some in. All right. I'll say defendant to pay December rent on the 26th.
To the court.
To the court. All right. And then once we get this all solved, we'll figure. All right. So she made sure Christmas was taken care of. And that is okay with me, man. Take care. Glencoe Hills versus Willie Williams.
And take care of his hands.
Huh?
Sorry, which case, Your Honor?
Willie Williams. He was here?
Your Honor, he was here. Didn't want to stay and told me he was going to go pay the balance. And it's paid in full. It'll show up on his ledger tomorrow. I'll send it a dismissal after it's paid.
Very good. Okay, dismissed. You didn't do that before he came down. Yeah. Anyway. Downside Lake 1 and 2 versus Lakia Williams. And Karan Williams.
James, wait for the plan.
Yep, Lakia. Miss Williams? Oh, there she is. Okay. All right. What? What's her current balance?
4482.59.
4482.59. Okay.
I already know what you're gonna say, Your Honor.
Hold on, what am I gonna say?
You're gonna say, where is the amount that you promised today?
Well, kind of, except that more so the 900, because well, I won't say you promised it, but you thought that sum was coming from, just say, a relative, but they weren't calling you back. And so
Yeah,
you were worried
that's
about that.
yeah, that's not happening
And
anymore.
right. And so I was more looking at the 9. You said you'd be able to get 900 from working.
Yeah, so I am a little short, but it's it's 850 basically.
You have 850?
Yes, I have 850 and then I get another check from my other job next week. It's just the reason why I haven't submitted the payment yet today is because like I've been going back and forth with my job about not receiving my money on time today.
Okay.
And they told me they sent me out a new pay card or whatever, and that's why. And they were also telling me that hopefully I should get it in the mail today because I've been waiting on it all week and I just checked the mail a second ago and it's there. So I can basically submit
So
that
you can
and
pay the 850.
yes.
When's your next check from your other job?
I know it's next week, but we might be getting it a little bit early because of the holiday. But I should be able to knock it down to at least 3,100 by the end of next week.
Okay, so do you think you can have you talked to Hawk at all?
Yes, I just informed Melissa that I talked to Hawk last week and they told me to call back on the 2nd and they should
When the
be able to
balance,
help
when
me.
you got the balance down.
Yeah, and because
They won't
they
be.
helped yeah, and they helped me out earlier in the year, so they said I had to wait.
Oh,
So
you
that's
have to
why
wait for the calendar year to click. Okay,
yeah.
got it. So you're making me do this math, but how much
if we
will you be
calculate
paying?
if we calculate everything due to like my calculations, I should be able to have January's rent by like the 15th or 16th or maybe a little bit before.
Okay, but hold on a second. Let's just see where you are. I was just going to adjourn it out a week. Let's see where you are in a week. But you're telling me you're gonna have the balance down to 3,100.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So I'm gonna mark that in the file. I'm gonna adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at 12 noon. That's an in-person hearing, but we'll have to make sure that that balance is there and then we can see where we can go from here, okay? All right. Thank you. Have a great holiday.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Peninsula Place versus Jomar Pie.
You want to win, bring a baby.
No, the baby's okay, yeah. They figured it out last time.
Same thing for the plaintiff.
Your name, sir?
Jamar Pye. He's at 1528.36.
1528.36. All right. Sir, you can take your hands out of your
Oh, my bad.
When do you think you can get this paid?
I'm really at 1117 right now. I paid 400 today.
You paid okay.
Yes.
So you paid 400 today. All right. And then how are you gonna get the rest of this paid?
Well, we talked about paying like 200 weekly while still paying my rent, I was still trying to do that. So probably like the end of January, it should be paid off.
I don't know.
It's about 800 a month, a little more than that.
That he'd be paying, but then he's
His
got,
rent's about 800 a month.
his rent is 800 a month.
Little less than 9, more than 8.
Got it. And so if you did 200 a week, the problem is you're only gonna be keeping yourself even. You're not gonna be getting toward this back balance.
Wait, could you explain that?
Okay, so come January 1, the 1,100 is gonna click up $800, so you're gonna be at 1,900.
Yeah, my rent is really like $650. So I was saying while paying my rent, I was also going to pay $200 a week. So it would.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're saying you would pay that 200 a week in addition to, like, you'd pay your rent, then you pay into 200 a week.
Right.
That's what you're
Right.
saying.
Yeah, because that's what I did last time before I came here.
Yeah. Do you think you can work out a conditional order dismissal along those terms with this gentleman or no?
I have no clue. We can try. Sir, give me your email address right there, please. We give him MCR 4.201.
Got it. All right. So I'm going to adjourn this out to December 26, 2025 at noon. Sir?
What day?
The 26th, day after Christmas.
Okay.
At noon.
In person?
In person.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to advise you, so if you get that agreement worked out, they're going to put it in a form called a conditional order dismissal.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning as long as you comply, you'll be good. If not, then they can file paperwork with the court for a judgment and an eviction.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
But I would have to advise you that you have 3 days after I sign the conditional order dismissal to think about it. If you think that there's some legal right you didn't assert, some confusion on your part, or some mistake that you made in signing that, you'd have to file a motion or some written document with the court to have me set it aside.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I will, but you have that time period after I sign it to do that.
All right.
Understand that?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Now, the better side of the baby's life. No, I'm kidding. Here comes the case of Peninsula Place versus Jacqueline Garden. Is he out cold?
Now we get the baby.
Yeah.
James Fink for the plaintiff. She's at 1999.61.
1999.61. All right. How are we gonna get that paid?
Hog denied me, so I'm
They
gonna.
denied you?
I make too much. That's what they said. So I'm gonna pay 1,000 tomorrow.
1,000 tomorrow? Okay. That's on me. I'll just make it the 22nd. You pay it by Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another 1,000 on the 2nd. And then I know that January is gonna kick in and that'll be paid 2 weeks from then. Then I should be set.
Okay, so she would. Okay, here, so I'm gonna do something a little bit strange, but I'm gonna do it this way with you. I'm gonna adjourn yours out also to December 26, 2025 at noon. What I'm hoping to do at that point is either a conditional order dismissal after she pays the 1,000 to pay the 1,000 in a second.
She paid $844 yesterday, so she's really working at it.
Yeah, that's how it got down to the 19. Is that right, Mr. Fink?
If that's what it looks like to me.
Okay, so okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna do it that way.
First name and last name.
11 Adjourn.
Nobody's gonna know what that says with me and you.
We'll try
to do a COD if you.
Pardon?
We'll try to do a COD.
COD on it and try to do it that way. I would have to advise you, if you do a conditional order dismissal and you're not here, I'm going to advise you of your rights. You'd have 3 business days to think about it for the time that I sign it. If you think that there's some legal reason, some confusion on your part, or some mistake you've made, or some right you didn't assert, you'd have to file a motion within those 3 business days. You understand that?
Yes.
That's the way. And I want to thank you, Ms. Gardner, for bringing the baby.
Welcome.
You know how and when she finally had it, this is the interesting thing, because actually, I think the first time I saw you at a case, she was pregnant, and falling behind her, but she couldn't get assistance because she couldn't work. And not only myself, but there were a lot of people that also were watching it that thought that that was so unfair.
Yeah.
And so we just slow walked it. And got her to this point.
Thank
You're so welcome. You have a very happy, oh, look at that face. You have a very happy, blessed Christmas.
Thank you too.
All right. And then we will see you soon. Okay. Take care.